Hello, everyone. Welcome once again, and I'm so glad to actually be joining you right now for the second part, the part two of Migrate to Canada through the provincial or the enhanced provincial nominee programs, e-PNPs, part two. Now, thank you very much. Right now, this is 5 p.m. Nigerian time and 12 p.m. Canadian time, Ontario time specifically. And I'm here currently at Brampton, Ontario, Canada, and we're having a very wonderful time here. I'm right at the backyard of our, our rented apartment, and this is very good weather. So I just thought that we should have it at the back of the apartment today. Now, that being said, thank you once again for joining. I can see some people already are available. I can see some people already saying what we're doing. So, if you actually were opportune to take part in the part one of our webinar yesterday, please let me just know, put it on the live chat section. Let me know if you had the opportunity to partake with us yesterday, and what you actually learned. If, for instance, you partook and you learned a great deal, let me know. Let me know on the chat section what you enjoyed mostly about what we had yesterday. I'm so happy today. I'm so pumped up because I know today is even going to be much more better than yesterday. So let me know on the chat section if you were part of, I would say, the convoy that actually watched the first video, because we had about, if I'm right now, about 100 people, yes, actually take part in the part one yesterday. I wasn't aware there was part one yesterday. Okay, Omolara, thank you very much. I would share the link. The link will be shared with you on this so that you can watch it subsequently. But I would not like that to actually take the your focus on this, because today we are going to talk slightly about what we did yesterday, and we would elaborate more about what you need to know today. So don't worry, you would, even though you missed it, you will still get the same benefit as what they call it now, as you ought to. So that being said, um I want to crave your indulgence that today we are going to be taking the part two of the what do they call it now? The Migrate to Canada through enhanced provincial nominee programs, EPNP part one, part two rather. So I want you to note something. If you are on the verge of relocating to Canada, you understand, I talked about it yesterday in detail, that there are different pathways to actually go through. You understand, many people know only mostly about the what they call it now, the temporary residence pathways. So today we want to also elaborate more on the major one that people shy away from, which is the permanent residents. And basically, what the provincial nominee programs are all about is the what is the um permanent residents. How to come here, just like I did, I and my common law partner, how to come here and become a permanent resident of Canada. I never came in through student visa or any other visa. So without wasting much time, let's really dive in into the part two. Now, yesterday we stopped when we were talking about after both PNP and federal IRCC applications, you are in for the last step. The last step is the biometrics and visas. In other words, IRCC would actually ask you to submit your biometrics once they are well satisfied with your express entry or your sole PNP application. Now, the concept of enhanced provincial nominee program, the e-PNPs, is that is linked to express entry, but there are some PNPs that are not linked to express entry. I, for instance, and my common law partner, we did that was linked to express entry. The reason for that is that it is much more faster. It guarantees you to actually come in faster than the one that is separate, that doesn't link to the express entry. However, it is much more easier to actually get qualified for the enhanced provincial nominee program, you understand, the e-PNP than even qualifying for the express entry, as that's when we actually applied for ours. So moving on, today we want to talk about how you need to note that even though you got maybe like the permanent resident visa in the last step of your immigration, you have not just gotten the permanent residence status. It was clearly stated when they shared us our confirmation of permanent residence that we had to come into Canada. We had to, you understand, use the visa that we got, which you are seeing on the screen right now. This was mine and that of my common law partner. Use the visa that we got, the permanent resident visa that we got, you understand, to come over to Canada, even though the COPR, which is confirmation of permanent residence, was not valid for travel. The visa that we got, which is the PR visa we got on our international passport, was actually valid. And it was when we now landed in Canada and the visa and border officers were okay with, you understand, our documentation and how we comported ourselves. That's when they signed us in as new Canadians and they congratulated us and welcomed us to into the country. So I want to also let you know that it doesn't really take time to explain, you understand, the time dice sides in details. I talked about two types of sides of a dice yesterday. I talked about the first main sides, or the main client sides, and I talked about the time dice sides. I will still, don't worry, the part one will explain in detail, but I will still brush up what we did yesterday. Now, the time die sites involves four major things, as we talked about. We talked about the Canadian job offer, which is not important, as I said, because these time die sites are the ones that you leave for all other second or third parties. You don't need to focus so much, because I see many people focus on, yes, I want to get a job before I come to Canada. That is more or less going to stress you out, because most times Canadian employers will not give job offers to people outside of Canada. You need to be in Canada, and when you are in Canada, like me, when you are a permanent resident, it becomes fairly easy for you to actually get what you want, the Canadian job offer. Proof of funds also, you don't really need to worry much about that when you get started in your application, because you will just write it down in your application that you have so amount, but you are not going to tender any documentation to prove it yet up until you get your nomination. So I always tell people, focus on having other documents, all right? You understand, which were the ones I talked about, the main four documents you would actually get in the first part. After you have done the proof of funds, after you have been actually considered for the visa, then you'll be asked to go for medical and police clearance certificate. Then you would also be asked to get your biometrics and your visa. But I want to tell you something, always focus on, you understand, the main die size, the major ones, the ones that are based on the clients, the ones that you do. And what were the ones we talked about yesterday, just for people that were not part of the discussion yesterday? The four major things you needed, you need more or less to actually use to get your permanent residence status, you understand, or your application started, is firstly your eligibility process, which I talked about in the first part. You understand, the eligibility process is the very first and major important thing you need to actually get started. You know, I said this, that we are going to brush through what we did yesterday. So here is it. The eligibility process is the first thing you need to know. You need to know if you are even eligible, because provincial nominee programs are, they are voluminous. We have at least the last part, the last time I checked, there are over 50 to 60 different types of provincial nominee programs. So you need to know the exact ones that would actually guarantee you the ability of getting your permanent resident status. And that's the reason why we always undergo the eligibility process. Secondly, you need to get your credential evaluations. For those of you who are professionals, who have actually attended colleges, universities, polytechnics, you need to have the credential evaluation, and that would allow you to level at par with Canadians and permanent residents in Canada, so that they know that the credential you have is actually valid and authentic. Now, language test results is another thing you need to have for IELTS, TEF Canada, TCF Canada, or CELPIP, to show that yes, you are proficient in either the French language or the English language, or even both. You understand? And lastly, I talked about the winning NOC code, the National Occupation Classification Code, that you will need, because I talked about how it was very important for me, because without the right code, I got qualified on the other three processes. But because I didn't have the right NOC code, I didn't focus on the right NOC code, I wasn't given, you understand, I wasn't even selected for any provincial nominee program route. So you have to know the winning NOC code as at the time you're applying, so that you have much more what, much more chance or opportunity of getting selected. Now I talked about the time die side, which I won't spend much time on, but I want to tell you something, that your permanent residency status is very important. Do you understand? On these two major sides of the dice. Do you understand? If you don't have any, you understand, especially the ones that you can actually control, you stand a fair chance. You may not be able to actually get the permanent residence card. And for me, as you can see, my permanent resident status was actually um very was actually accomplished but when I got my PR card for myself and my common law partner, and likewise on with all the other clients we have worked with. Now, all right, so far in this presentation, we have covered firstly, we have covered how you can actually go about your O.S applications, how you could go about your educational credential assessment, either through any of the 4 to 5 different organizations we talked about, and you can actually get selected to move, you understand, to Canada if you focus on getting your ECA firstly, getting your tests for IELTS, TEF Canada, TCF Canada, and your NOC code. Once those are actually settled, and I talked about the various NOC codes, you understand, that are currently right now being actually selected by what? By the Canadian Immigration Office. You understand? We talked about the healthcare sector, we talked about the tech sector, you understand? We talked about the French language speakers. We also talked about the trades occupations. We talked about quite a lot in the first part, and you can actually go back and check that. Now, I want you to know something. You need to become wise when you get to leave, you understand, the right sides of the dice, which is that of the what? The um other ones that other people will do, like the police clearance. You cannot do your police check, they will do it for you most likely. Your medicals, panel of physicians will do it for you most likely. The proof of funds, you can always definitely get someone, you understand, or get to actually work with, you understand, money lenders, banks, you understand, commercial banks, you understand, microfinance bank, to help get that sorted. Do you understand? So don't really focus on it, just wait on the process, because that's why we call it the time dice. It does take time, you understand. However, if you are smart enough, you can easily fast track the time you actually wait. Just like I explained how these immigrants, you understand, they never got a job offer right from outside Canada when they actually applied for their permanent residence through the Provincial Nominee Program route and the Federal Skilled Worker Program route. But you understand, within the time they landed in Canada, within few weeks, within few months, I talked about Sheye that is working in one of the top Canadian banks right now. He was a banker in Nigeria. When he came into Nigeria, Canada as well, he actually started in the banking sector. I talked about the second person, you understand, with the cap, Mr. Lawal, who actually was a lecturer in Kwara State University, and how he was able to actually get, do you understand, to was able to actually get the offer, the job offer to work in a university right here in Canada as well. We talked about Mr. Patrick, the one with the lovely smile, who was able to actually use his French knowledge, you understand, and the skills that he was able to get from learning with us to now process his what? To process his permanent residence to actually come to Canada with his family. And lastly, with the one with the lovely wife there, Mr. Diko too, how he was able to come to Manitoba, Canada through the PNP. I talked about it, and now he is working 2 jobs, earning a good deal of funds or money, you understand, by actually working together with his wife. Now, we also covered French language learning and IELTS. Do you understand? With even TEF or TCF Canada test preparations, and how I got to achieve the 7877 formulas. Now, this is very important because when you are applying, do you understand? Or when you are planning towards working on your permanent residence, especially for the provincial nominee programs, you have to have some certain amount of documents. The documents I talked about was the IELTS, which you needed to have. You understand, there's always a combination of, oh yes, listening you have 8.0, reading you have 7.0, writing you have 7.0, speaking you have 7.0. And I told you, I showed you You understand? My result, how I even maxed out, I got above that, which made me even much more eligible because my own listening was 8.5, my own reading was 9.0, the writing was 7.0, the reading was 7.5. You understand? And that made me have my 8.0 overall band score with a CEFR level of C1. Now, also, I showed you exactly how I first failed in the TEF Canada examination. So as a result of that, I was compelled to go write the DELF exam. The DELF B2 was the one I succeeded in. I had 74 over 100 in that, you understand, in order to qualify me. But when I was writing the the DELF C1, I had about 43. I was short of 7 points for getting the diploma for that from, you understand, Ministre de l'Éducation à Paris. Now, with that, I was able, as soon as I got the DELF exam and I saw my competence that okay, I needed more training in the C1 level, all I just went to do is go back, train more on the C1. And after some few months, because if you could look at what happened, after some few months of writing the DELF, I applied for the TEF Canada again, and with that, I excelled with C1 parallel, which was quite similar with what I had in high LTS. So, what am I trying to say in essence? What I'm trying to say is that you need a kind of system that can guarantee you these results, the IELTS, the TEF Canada, and some of those I've talked about in the part one, how you can actually achieve that. Now, I was also issued two notifications of interest from Ontario and Quebec through their provincial nominee programs, as I talked about earlier. For the Ontario, they sent me a notification stating the provincial or territorial interest letter. You understand, through the express entry, how I was able to get invited for permanent residence through the Ontario government. Likewise, I showed you Quebec, how they sent me invitation à présenter une demande de sélection permanente. Now, with that, that was like the equivalent of the provincial interest letter that I got from Ontario. It was the equivalent of that of the Quebec. And with that, even though I didn't process the Quebec, I knew that, okay, yes, this is what Quebec province, you understand, actually needs from applicants, and this is how I can position all other people, which I have done for all other people, to actually get not only the Quebec but Manitoba, for Alberta, for Ontario, you understand, provincial nominee programs. And likewise, if you know Quebec well, you know that apart from the invitation they sent, they also sent the procédure d'identification pour votre demande de sélection permanente, which is the kind of process you go through if you want to get, or you want to actually go through their own nomination. And you know, their own nomination is quite different. They don't give like the concept of the provincial nomination, you understand, approval letter. What they give is, you understand, the certificat de sélection, you understand. So that is different from what other provinces actually give. Now, I was also able to show you in the past part how I got nominated to relocate to Canada through the province of Ontario, and invited to apply for Canada permanent residence. You understand, by IRCC. I showed you how exactly they sent the nomination approval letter. You understand, by the Ministry of Labor and Immigration and Training and Skills Development. I showed you the confirmation of nomination. You understand, they actually sent to me. That was last year, you understand. And the ITA that I got from the federal government of Canada, when they actually drew you understand, a round of invitations, and I was selected with what now, with the CRS score of 1043. And that's the major thing here. If you are applying for provincial nominee program, you would get an additional 600 points. Do you understand? And that additional CRS 600 provincial or territorial nomination points would let you, even before the 600 points, if you can calculate well, I had about 493. Do you understand? And with the 493 points, I was more or less convinced that yes, I would get, you understand, the ITA sooner or later from the federal government. But if you remember, this time last year, 2020, they were still battling with the backlogs. So the record nominations they were giving, or invitations rather, the ITAs they were giving were quite high. They were given 500s, they were given, you understand, 550, 570. It was quite much. So I that had for the 493, even though if I had applied like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I'll be much more eligible, and even, you understand, taken as a hotkey. But around that particular time, Do you understand? The points were high and I couldn't get selected. So that is why I went through the provincial nominee program route, and I was able, after getting the 1043 CRS points, I was able to apply for permanent residence. And that's what I want to do for you. Now, I also shared with you yesterday how I got, with no travel history, the Canadian permanent residence status once and for all when I applied. And I did it from Nigeria without spending tens of millions in college degrees because I never came in as an international student. I didn't even waste time with other Canadian temporary residence pathways or refugee asylum claimant pathways. You understand? I didn't waste time doing the work permit. You understand? I didn't waste time actually doing the visitor visa. But if you look at what happened, you would see that my first passport that I got was a virgin passport, which I was not able to use to immigrate to any country. I remember that time I actually got the passport in 2013. You understand? It expired in 2018. They cancelled it without prejudice, as they do, you understand, in Nigeria. But I wasn't able to use it to travel. Though I do talk about, yes, I traveled to Benin Republic to learn French, but I don't consider that as an immigration. It was more or less a tourism, like just a kind of excursion. I don't, not even tourism, a kind of excursion. But after I renewed my passport in 2018, you understand, I made a pact with myself that I must use this, you understand, the new international passport to what? To get into a particular country. And that was when I got started, I got serious with actually working on Canadian permanent residence. Thank you very much. Someone asked if I'm going with the family, are we all going to do IELTS? Is an emphatic no. You are not going to all do IELTS, especially if you have children that are less than 18. They don't really need, or less than 22, they don't really need. Reason being that they are not considered as adults. But if you have adults in the, maybe if you are a single mother, for instance, you may just need to write it yourself. But if you are going with your husband, we will now have to look back to the concept of eligibility process. We would have to first go through an eligibility process and kind of predict the kind of scores you could have, and now check through that, okay, if only you, for instance, actually do IELTS, will you be eligible for provincial nominee programs? If the answer to that after our process is yes, then it is only you that will do the IELTS. But if, when we run the process and we see that your points are not enough to actually get the provincial nominee programs, do you understand? It is only then we'll now advise you, you understand, and you understand, suggest to you that your spouse to actually also do the IELTS so that you can have a competitive score for any of the provincial nominee program routes that we select for you to actually go through based on your own situation. So thank you very much, Omadara, for that wonderful question. That's a good one. So, and that is how you can actually know that this Canada immigration strategy works. Why? Because it worked for me, and surely it can definitely, if you actually take it serious, if you are willing to work with us or do it yourself, it will definitely work for you. Now, I want to also tell you something. After all, these were the things I was able to achieve by actually going through the provincial nominee program route. Firstly, I was able to go through the eligibility process, just like Mrs. Omalara asked. I went through the eligibility process to work on how to get nominated by Ontario. I was strategic about it. I didn't just leave it to chance. Do you understand? I was strategic about it. Now, two, I was also able to make use of my educational assessment. You understand? Because it worked for me. I only had a bachelor's degree. So people that even have a master's degree, they have much chance than me. People that have ND and HND, they have more points. They get more points than me. So you can even get better points than me if you have it and you actually position yourself right to actually get it. Now, I had my IELTS, I passed my TEF Canada with, and I got the test result, and these results actually helped me to keep my relocation dream possible and to not fail, you understand, before I even landed here. Likewise, getting my winning NOC code, because I told you how I first used an NOC code that was wrong, 41020, if I'm right, the language coach, what do you call it, and other instructor, language and other instructors. I've forgotten I think will see it after some time. So I used that code because I was a language teacher in Nigeria. But I wasn't selected the first time I applied. I wasn't even they didn't even allow me to walk through any process of application. So as a result of that, I had to change the NOC code based on my transferable skills that I was able to prove, you understand, and I was able to actually back up. And because of that, that saved my Canada PNP application during the COVID-19 pandemic backlog recovery period. Now, likewise, the proof of funds that I used to accelerate the application approval, I actually got it with help of other people. You understand? So I always tell people, if you tell me that yes, you are not starting your provincial nomination program, you understand, processing because of proof of funds. Most times I see those kind of people as unserious because you need to start, you understand, with the little you have now. You understand? And yeah, I'm not that you don't bother about the other things that you need, the other costs that you would incur, but starting something now shows that yes, you are much more willing to actually take the risk, and from there you can now improve to get the proof of funds, the every other fees that you need sorted out. Many people, when they apply or they process it, they don't always have all the monies. You understand? They don't always have all the monies readily available. It is in the process they get to actually generate the monies they use for their immigration. So now, zero records of deadly diseases. You understand? If, for people that have sicknesses, I met someone that told me he had HIV, and I said yes. Even though you had HIV, you have HIV. If it's not yet a deadly disease, deadly disease in the sense that if you are not yet taking active role in preserving yourself, in making sure that yes, this thing doesn't affect you psychologically and you understand mentally and you understand medically, then you can still be admissible to Canada. But if it is in a chronic state already, then like when it has already graduated from HIV to AIDS, then it may be difficult for the immigration office to actually approve you to come to Canada because they know that their free healthcare will be spent a lot on you and they don't want to spend so much money on anybody. You understand? There's actually a kind of quota they put that if anyone's medical cost would advance in such a way that it gets to this point, they are not going to actually allow that person come. And there are different money. I think some are like $50,000, some are, so there are different quotas based on different people and different situations. Now, also our clean state of having no zero criminal records also exonerated us in order to get our visa approvals quickly because we didn't have any issues with the police here in Nigeria when we even landed in Canada. The visa office also asked us, do we have any issues? We said no. So it fast tracked our visa approval and our admissibility into Canada. Likewise, the biometrics also worked in our favor because some people they will say they don't get their biometrics and it may take time for them to apply and stuff. But ours were different. We did our own swiftly and there was no issues with it. And I told you as well in the first part that the expense that I spent, the cost that I spent to work on all of them was roughly within 6.7, you understand, million naira as at then, you understand, which was roughly about 7,500 USD that I spent. But I understood that I didn't have all the money at once, and I didn't focus on having all the money at once. Rather, I started with what I had. You understand? I focused with what I could control. Sometimes you can't control funds. You understand? So start with what you can control. And most of the things you can control are always the cheaper things. IELTS, Step Canada, education assessment, eligibility criteria. All those things are like the cheaper things. Winning NOC code, you just select online. Those are the cheaper things that you can control. So focus on that first to get started. Many people, there are a lot of clients we work with that don't have enough. In fact, the proof of funds we talked about earlier, there are some of them that we assist to get the proof of funds. You understand? So it is not something that you need to bother much on right now to get started. When you have started and you understand, you're already seeing that this thing is working, then you can focus on all other things that you need. Do you understand? Now, lastly, this allowed me and my common law partner to set up an international business in Canada, which is fully registered by the government of Ontario right now. And just to prove in the point that we actually gave in the last one, the last part of the last slide, this is our registration from the government of Canada. You understand? We registered our business within a month that we landed in Canada. You understand? And now we are recognized to actually start up business, to do, you understand, what we know how to do best, to help more and more people actually get into the country, you understand, of Canada. Now, I want you to see that knowing how to relocate with the Provincial Nominee Program immigration strategy can give you that freedom to either pursue the business you want, or also to pursue the life, you understand, that you want. And it's very important you know this, because many of us that have been here, our lives have improved based on the virtue of getting into Canada through PMP. Now, so can you see how learning to use these eight strategies, the eight strategies that I like to talk about, the eight strategies, how it can help you, first of all, land your dream job in Canada, just like some of our clients did, how it can help you start up your foreign business, and how it can also help you live the easy life with all your family members as soon as you land in Canada. Now, I always like to tell people there are other benefits that we cannot even finish talking about. You understand? When it comes to holding a webinar, we can't finish talking about it, because right now in Canada, there are some opportunities that help you study here for free up to college. Now, please note, many of the so-called YouTubers would always talk about how you can get free education for primary education, for secondary education for your children. But I tell you, you can also get temporary, you understand, or tertiary rather, tertiary funding free without paying a dime for your tuition. But and that is why I always it always annoy me one way or the other when I see international students that they don't even have the money. If you have the money, it's different. Some people don't even have the money to study, but they still apply for study permits. And I'll show you some people that reached out to me stating that I should help them. You put yourself in the mess. That's just the truth. So the fact is, I can't help you get out of the mess without you taking an active role to get out of the mess. Do you understand? There are other routes. I do tell people PMP is much cheaper. You understand? And much more rewarding, to say the least, than going through any temporary residence route. This is Ontario Student Assistance Program, for instance. And this student assistance program helps, you understand, students actually get to pay for their college or university education. You understand? And once they have applied for the school, just like my common law partner has applied for Rashidat Olufunke Yusuf, you will be able to get grants and loans to help you pay for university or college. I've once talked about Rashid that she didn't have the opportunity to study in Canada and in Nigeria because for 4 good years she was trying to apply. She even applied, not that she was trying, she applied to universities in Nigeria, but she was not selected. Why? Because of the corruption one. She got the points, she got the cutoff, she got everything, the jam, the WAEC, everything. But sometimes they even give her admission, and before you know it, when she wants to go and print the, you understand, slip in the cyber cafe, they will say they have already removed her admission. That is the kind of problem, the decadence in our society in Nigeria. You understand the moral decadence. So she was not able for, I think she finished around 2016, up until 2021. She wasn't able to get, when she finally even got an admission at the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. You understand? She got an admission of not what she wanted. And that time we saw that yes, the immigration was already working. That time there was even the so-called, you understand, strike happening in Nigeria University, which was unheard of, because when I was in the University of Ilorin, there was never an issue of strike. But that time they were striking, you understand, with other universities. And I just had to tell her that, man, forget this thing and let's just process Canada. She came into Canada, and now she is able, you understand, to pay her tuition 20,800, not with her money. Please understand it. Not with her parents' money, not with, you understand, the salary we are giving her to work with Canada abroad, with A.O.S abroad. Not with that, but she got that opportunity. She got that schooling. She got that tuition free education through what? The government of Ontario, legally. It's not skinny, legally, through grants, all these things. That's why I give references. I give, you understand, things. You can browse it. This is on the official website of Ontario. So not just you getting primary education free for your children, not just you getting secondary education free for your children, you can also get tertiary education free for yourself and for your spouse or your common law partner once you come in through the right way, because these opportunities, the OSAP, is only meant for permanent residents and citizens of Canada. So if you are not a permanent resident, if you even come in through international students visa route, you come in through, you understand, which other one do they have, visitor visa or work permit, you won't get this opportunity because you are not a PR resident yet. Now, I also want to tell you, this is one of the conversations I've had with people that actually got these OSAP that we talked about, the grants, you understand, from the government. And this man, he's a Nigerian, and as Nigerians, we are sharp people. You understand? He stated it on, you understand, the WhatsApp group that we joined, which is the Canada Newcomers Grants and Benefits. You understand, WhatsApp group. If you want the link, okay, I think the link is there that you can join. They have links. You understand? It stated like where I talked about 20 million naira to 25 million naira. That is where I really want to focus on, because you understand the stuff is actually long. But what I got, because me, I'm someone that is money, when it comes to money, I'm always attentive. He said that as a family of five, you understand, his spouse received a total funding of 41,000 CAD, and that is roughly 25 million naira. He also received 33,000 CAD, which is roughly 20 million naira, without a loan. So it's not that you come here and you pay for the loan after you school. Rara. The only thing is that what you say you want to do with the money, do it. You understand? And funny enough, the money is not only covering the tuition fee. Please note the fact that, just like Rashidat, the fact that yes, she wants to go to school and pay 20,800, which is roughly how much now? 12 million naira. That fact does not mean that they will give her that 12 million naira. Gege. No, it doesn't mean that. What they did for this guy, you understand, and his family member, is that they paid for his tuition. They gave him a laptop and gift card, you understand, or gift card, because yes, when you are in school studying something that is related to tech, you need a laptop. Or even in here in Canada, you need a laptop. It's not something that is important. Just as you need a car, you need a laptop. So they gave him a laptop. You understand? They also gave him, because he has a family, a huge family of five. They would give him access to what, free daycare of his children, so that while he's studying, he's not being affected. You understand? And yes, he can decide the daycare he wants to take his children, or you understand, their children. You understand? He will decide. The only thing is that the government gave him the money, you understand, based on the amount that they feel he needs. So he can decide that, okay, they have given me 10 million naira. My daycare, I don't, let me spend 2,000. Or, you understand, let me spend 2 million for it. They don't care because they have given you. So, anyhow, the only thing is that while you are studying, don't complain about children again, because they have sorted you. You understand? So, in fact, some of them can collect money for daycare, and at the end of the day, they'll just give maybe like all these more boy to actually take care of the children and be chipping in with few. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that any course you want to study, anything you want to study in this, you can come into Canada as a permanent resident first. You understand? Get your papers sorted well. Do you understand? And you would have free access to studying. And it doesn't end in studying, because me, as I came, I've studied in Nigeria, you understand, for my bachelor's in linguistics. I'm also currently studying in the University of East London, where I'm paying quite a sensible amount of money for an online, you understand, degree, a master's degree, in data science. So I didn't want to study again. And I'll say, okay, what other social benefits can I get from the government? What other social benefits can I get from non-profit organizations? You understand? So we checked through online, and we saw that if you are a permanent resident of Canada, you can even get endless free meals. And this is no joke. This is no joke, because we go into this in fact, since I think May or June that we landed, we have been going consecutively every month to the Muslim Welfare Food Service, Food Bank Service in Canada, here in Brampton, Ontario, and we have been giving every month free food. This, the one that is at the center, that kind of box, or on the trolley now, that was what they used to give us the food. In fact, we first took all these normal bags to go get it, yeah, like shopping bag. But after the first time, and we saw that we couldn't put everything to fit in, we had to be taking traveling bag to collect food. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to tell you is that you have no excuse to come the wrong way to Canada. when it comes to what permanent residence. There are a lot of benefits, a lot of advantages you can gain when you come the right way. And even if we had a full day together instead of just these 2 hours that we have, it's going to be very difficult for me, very hard for me to almost give you all I can give you in this session. And that's why yesterday we broke it down. We talked about some things yesterday. We also talked today again, because yesterday we spent 2 hours and I didn't want it to extend up to, like, you understand, 3 hours, 4 hours. So we had to break it to today. But still, this presentation isn't going to clear, it's not going to really change more lives as I want it to change, because there are still a lot of things about permanent residence that we have not been able to cover. So you need more than that, basically. And everything that I've given you today and yesterday, even though it is valuable, it's just a tip of the iceberg. It's just a tip, seriously. If you like what I shared with you so far, you will love definitely what I have for you next. Now, you see, before doing this presentation, I actually asked myself that I was faced with two major choices. The first choice is that if we had a food, if I was to actually do this, do I actually go to the first option? And the first option was to part ways with you and then just hope that by sheer magic on your own you can figure out the PMP route. That was the first option that I got to think of. But the second option I got was that, okay, wait, could I take a more active role and responsibility for your PMP success so that you would get here as a permanent resident fast? You understand? And we can be able to create a kind of win-win situation. You understand? In other words, can instead of you doing it alone, can we do it together? And well, I chose the second option. I wanted to be active. I wanted to be supportive in your, you understand, quest to come into Canada freely, cheaply, you understand, without spending all what you could have spent naturally on, you understand, temporary residence pathways. Now, the result of working more than 12 hours a day, every day for the past 4 years on my relocation, is what is going to be readily available to you. Everything I know from coming from Nigeria, you understand, or even other people that we have assisted from other African countries, you understand, and people that we are currently assisting from Asian countries, do you understand? So, and people that are from even America, the UK, you understand, because I have a friend who went to study in the UK and he has spent a year there. And man, even though he got scholarship in the UK, man, he says in his own words that he has understood the fact that UK is a country where you just, if you don't have money, you can't enjoy the country. If you are just starting out, you need to get to a country that will support you every step of the way. So he has to come into Canada roughly, basically. Do you understand? And now he wants our help, and we are trying to help him. So if you want to relocate to Canada, set up your life, set up your business if that is what is, you understand, important to you. Get free education if that is what is important to you. And if you even want, just like some of our, you understand, clients we talked about earlier, if you want to get high paying jobs, you understand, as my common law partner has already and other clients, then you understand, I need to make you understand something. Everything again, I'll say, I know about getting Canada PMP application ready, you understand, and permanent residence visa approved quickly. From more than half a decade of immigration experience that I have, from 2018 to 2023, if you really, really want it, and I want to see some charts, I want to see that people are actually following me. If you really want me to help you and assist you and walk you through the process, let me see your chat. Let me see your conversations. Let me see maybe like a high, put a high on the chat section. Let me just see that, yes, you really want, do you want to do it alone? Do you understand? Or do you want us to do it together, basically? Which one do you want? Before I introduce to you what I have for you today. Okay, thank you very much. I see some people right now. Okay, now what I'm trying to say is we have created what we call the Canada PMP system. And the reason why I call it a system is because with this system, you can get trained freely, Do you understand? You can get to actually move to Canada easily, and you can also get to move as fast as possible, even though you may not have understood how to do it before. Now, again, with this particular system I'm talking to you on today, I want to first of all give you all the perfect 8 processes that I talked about in the first part and this part on how to become a permanent resident of Canada, how you can immigrate on command, like how you, as if you are commanding the visa officer. You understand? But you are not commanding, but simply just putting a very compelling application out at a cheap price compared to what you would have spent on temporary residence. You understand all the millions or tens of millions you could have spent, or how to actually do it instead of being an on-hold immigrant. I like that term, on-hold immigrant. What does I do I mean by on-hold immigrant? Refugees, for instance, people that are coming and seeking asylum. It's good to seek. I'm not saying it's not good, but you can get fucked up easily by actually coming through a route that you don't have control over. Do you understand? There are a lot of immigrants, I shared it on my past slides, that came and sought asylum and now they are sleeping on the streets because the government have not been able to actually get to approve their what? Their applications. Some that have even gotten approved, they can't even get because they have spent so much that now it's as if they are just begging to live in Canada. And I don't want that for you. Do you understand? Here, through this Canada PMP system, we would follow through all the 8 sides of the dice: the eligibility process, the credential evaluation, the language test results would help you with it, the winning NOC code, the Canadian job offer, the proof of funds, the medical and police, the biometrics, and visa. Do you understand? So, we would help you focus on these documentations and methods and also help you get orders that would worry about your application and your visa approval. Now, so here is what you would get from the Canada PMP pathway. Now, Omolara, okay, thank you. You said hi. All right. I think, do you want to say, ask a question or something? Now, what will you get? I want to break down everything you are going to get in this. Firstly, if you are someone who didn't get your Canadian visa at the first attempt, or the second attempt, or even the third attempt, getting visa denials, or visa rejections, or visa refusals, then, or if you have created an express entry profile before, and since God knows when, you have not gotten that ITA, that invitation to apply from Canada, or if you are currently struggling, you understand, to actually get the right documentations. Do you understand? Getting the right requirements for the Canada PNP application, like we talked about the list of documents for Canada PR, the passport, the credential assessment, the proof of funds, the language test, the offer letter from Canadian employer, the provincial nomination certificate or territorial certificate of nomination, the marriage certificate if you are married or divorced, you understand, your divorce certificate, medical report, your job seeker validation code, your birth certificate, your photographs, your police verification report, or you understand, police criminal records or criminal certificates, your express entry profile number, your letter of recommendation from previous employers, or your personal reference code. There was one client that reached out to me that got fucked up literally by using a bad recommendation letter from his previous employers. All his other documentations were sorted, but it was that reference letter that got him denied and almost even banned from applying. You understand, for permanent residence. And I don't want that for you. You understand? So if you even feel that you are too old, because some people say, yes, I'm already 45 years above and 55 years above, can I actually get this sorted? So if you even feel too old, you understand, and you feel that, yes, old dogs cannot actually play new tricks, basically, and you have almost given up on the possibility of migrating through the wrongly, and I say it, the wrongly accused complicated Canada PNP application. They wrongly accuse it, and that is why I say it is wrongly accused. Because if you know how the ball rolls, if you know how to play the game, you will not have issues with it. Then, if all those criteria fit you, then pay attention because this is for you. Firstly, we have the immigration pre-evaluation process. And this is the first thing that is in our Canada PNP system. If you might be wondering, what is a Canada immigration pre-evaluation process? I've talked about it here, but I'll reiterate it. An immigration pre-evaluation process is a complete ticket to your PNP relocation. I call it ticket, not a travel ticket, but a ticket of you getting approved. Why? Because it is the very first step you take before you start even planning or gathering documents. Many people miss this step. Some people skip this step, and when they skip it, they skip their visa approvals. They skip their nominations because you need to know how eligible you are first. And after knowing, if for instance you are not eligible now, you can use the pre-evaluation process to find out how you can get eligible and how you could focus. Do you understand? So that you don't waste time chasing shadows. You don't waste time on things that will not even benefit you. Now, doing the right thing at the right time, as quickly as possible, can fast track your PMP applications, your PMP journey. And this is a sample of what I'm trying to explain to you. Before, I've seen countless of people, countless of clients who got rejected. Some people got rejected 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. From doing what? Applying to the wrong provinces or applying through the wrong visa applications. Some people apply through study visas, they got rejected. I've talked about it in part one, where the statistics does not favor you. The statistics that for every person that wants to become an international student in Canada, do you understand? Three, four, five people get rejected. Do you understand? Because of the application of one person. So if you are not a very good applicant, someone that yes, they feel that yes, they must have in their country, you will get visa refusals. This is a client that reached out to us before he worked with us and he got visa rejected. You understand? By scrupulous agents in Lagos. We don't consider ourselves as agents, but I'm trying to tell you this. Your story can change from this before to after. This after was my own application. Within 90 days, I got to fast track my PNP application after I knew what worked. I never wasted time. You understand? Because I even never got any visa rejections. Because I had a virgin passport that I told you. I also didn't apply for any application, only the express entry, which they didn't select me on. So I didn't even get rejected. They didn't even select me express entry when I did it. But then I now metamorphosed. I worked on the PMP, and the PMP was my changing, you understand, grace. You understand? It was what helped me. So I want you to wise up. A profile with a clean slate, a profile that you create, an application that you create with a clean slate, with no ambiguity, with no visa refusals in past applications, with no deportation history. For some people that reach out to us and they tell us that yes, oh, I again went to UK or US, I overstayed my visit, now I'm back in Nigeria, can I apply for Canada? These countries share data. Do you understand? They share data with one another. It's not science. It's not science fiction. They share data. Do you understand? So if you have shown that you are not reliable in one country, it will definitely affect you in the other country if you are not able to prove the reason why. Because sometimes when you prove the reason why it happened that was beyond your control, then they can consider you. But if not, you may become inadmissible to Canada. You understand? If you have not faced desperation, if they don't see that on your file, they are not depicting desperation. Some people keep on applying, like this person before, keep on applying, keep on applying. See, if you cannot wait on a 6 month period at least from the first visa rejection, if was a visa rejection that you cannot really work on, because we have had scenarios like Mr. Warrior, which I showed you before, who applied for study visa the first time, the first month, he came to us, we told him what he just had to do on our consultation sessions and how he can actually set it up in a way that they know that yes, okay, this thing can actually work for him the second time, and he got the visa approved. Now he's in Canada with me. He's in Brampton, Ontario, specifically with me after the first rejection and getting the second approval through that. I talked about him extensively on our part one, so you can check the part one of this what they call it, training for that. So please understand it. If you have no cause for visa refusal, if you have no cause for inadmissibility, you can surely ease the process of you coming into Canada. You understand? For people that are just joining, I see that some of you may be caught off guard that, okay, this is part two. The part one, which I would definitely share the link again. Okay, it's on the screen right now. This is the part one of this training. You can go to watch this after this. You understand? After this training, specifically. Now, what am I saying in essence? If you actually want to get the pre-evaluation process, you understand, the pre-evaluation process will show you how to do these 10 different things. Firstly, it will show you the 3 to 4 best PMP pathways for your own specific application that you can follow, you understand, in order to work on your PR or your Canada immigration plan. It will also show you, because for instance, I showed you in the part one, and I'll also show you here as well, that Ontario is one province, like the province I am right now. It has different routes that you can use to relocate under their PMP routes. I used, as I talked about, the French speaking skilled worker program. You understand, route. But you may say, okay, yes, I don't have French skills. You can go through what we call the Ontario Human Capital Stream or Capital Priority Stream. Do you understand? HCP. You can go through that stream instead of the French stream. There are different streams. So in the pre-evaluation process, you will get to know the sub programs or routes that you need to use to get your visa approval chances. You understand? You would also get the available job opportunities that are already available for you and your spouse or common law partner, which definitely would assist you to actually work on. We would also help you to show how you can predict your CRS and PMP eligible scores, so that before you even get started with any application, you are sure that, okay, if you start, this is the point you would have, and you'll be able to actually get selected, so that you just don't spend money and waste time doing nothing. You would also be able to see the pre and post ITA support documents that you require, which is inside our complete checklist that you will provide you with. Meanwhile, our complete checklist that is available for people, the public, on our website, aosabroad.com, is different from the complete checklist you will be provided with, because we have improved on the checklist that helps you to, you understand, get more facts and more things based on our own immigration process. Now, inside this pre-evaluation process as well, you would also get to see the calculated duration of your PMP program and visa application. For me, for instance, our PMP process, it just took about 3 months. You understand, to get selected, to get invited by interview. We will tell you that, okay, if you start now, this is how long it's going to take you to get invited. This is how long it will take you to start your visa application. This is how long it will take you to get approved. We would show you, you understand, estimates of those timings, and you would see it, that this thing, based on what we have actually done before, works. We would also show you the average cost analysis you would incur from the very beginning of the process to the end, even though we don't always want you to focus on that. Now, we will not want you to focus on that, because you can start with the minimal cost you have, and as soon as you advance, we even help people to actually sort, just like I said, the POFs before. We help people to get it sorted if you want us to get it for you, if you don't have the cost. Now, we also show you the payment information and the installment details available, because just as it is available in our organization, the Canada Immigration also allows, you understand, the kind of sort of installment payments. It's not compulsory you pay all the application fee and the right of permanent residency fee and the, you understand, Ontario immigration PMP fee all at once. You can actually break them down, and we'll show you how to go about that. We'll also show you the PR visa benefits you will get for you and your family, and we'll not just show you, but as soon as you get started with your process, we could have helped you start, you understand, getting some of those even before you land in Canada, and that is very important. Even before you land in Canada, we would assist you. You understand? If it's to get the information right, if it's to get the credentials that you will need in order to get those benefits when you land in Canada finally, we would help you with this our pre-evaluation process. That is why it is not the normal pre-evaluation process we do for every other person out there. Lastly, if you want to school, you want to study, we would also list out all the schools you could study in for free when you land. And we will not just list them out, we would also help you if you want to apply for, you understand, free grants when you come for your spouse or for yourself. We would help you through this pre-evaluation process. You understand how to actually get linked up with the schools, how to get linked up with the free grants, how to get linked up, so that you can have a wonderful stay. And this is what people don't do. This is what you may not see out there, because here we just don't want to bring you here and leave you in limbo. We want to be part of your success in Canada, so that we can actually be happy that yes, you actually came here for us. And mind you, the last thing is that this pre-evaluation process is going to serve as a fail proof digital blueprint of your entire Canada PNP journey. Mind you, I didn't say application, PNP journey, the journey from when you plan to come to Canada, when you come to Canada, and when you actually settle in Canada. And that is very important. Now, for me, this process, it cost me 7,500 USD in application for 5 years, right from 2018 when I thought about it in the part one, how I started, you understand, down to 2022, and how I was using a kind of trial and error to figure out what works and what doesn't. So it was a hard, a slow, and an expensive way for me to go about it. In fact, as at 2022, you understand, the worth of 7,500 USD was no longer 7,500 USD. It was like 12,000 because of the bad dollar to naira exchange rate in black market. So I want to tell you that instead of you spending the monies that I spent, you can actually get it by using a fast, a cheaper, and an easier way. I don't want you to spend 5 years trying to come in. And that is what people do most likely when they come in through other pathways. Because if you come in through the student visa, especially when you come in through bachelors, you may have to spend 5 years before you get that PR. In fact, I told you I met one Nigerian who was actually working in Walmart, and she has been here under temporary residence route for over 4 years. Do you understand? Why? Because she got stuck. She got employer specific work permit, and the employer is not readily available to help her to get the PR. Do you understand? So I want you to avoid that. Don't just be here and be at the beck and call. You don't have any leverage above any other Canadian employer. It doesn't work. So I want you to avoid you spending 5 years of trial and error. Avoid you spending 7,500 USD. Do you understand? And get it faster, cheaper, and easier. Now, of this first course the value of this first support system that we have for you, and that's why we call it system. It's not just a course, it's not just like an online course, it's not just like a book, it's not just like anything. It's a support system. We have various support systems available. We help you through the process. We don't just leave you in limbo. Do you understand the value of this? You understand, it's just at a fraction of our investment of time, because it takes at least 3 to 6 months before this thing materializes. You understand? So it is just as a fraction of the time cost, a fraction of the money cost. You understand? And it will actually incur, you would actually, elsewhere, if you had to get this $899 to actually get this elsewhere. Now, here is what you get: the 899 value worth of immigration pre-evaluation process. But this is just the first, it doesn't end there. Now, if you haven't started your relocation process at all, you haven't done visa, you haven't done you understand, any programs before, or you want to even try this PNP route, you understand, either be it the Northwest Territories Nominee Program, the Yukon Nominee Program, the Saskatchewan Immigration Nominee Program, the British Columbia Nominee Program, the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program, the Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, the New Brunswick Provincial Nominee Program, the Nova Scotia Provincial Nominee Program, the Prince Edward Island Provincial Nominee Program, or the Newfoundland and Labrador Provincial Nominee Program. Or if you are about to dive into one of these PNPs that I mentioned earlier in the year 2023 or even above, and you just can't get that band 8.0 that we mentioned earlier in IELTS, which is the formula to crack the IELTS: listening 8.8, reading 7, writing 7, speaking 7. Then pay attention to the second thing, because this was actually we made this for you: the Golden 8777 IELTS course. Now, this is an online course together with an intense training, whereby you are going to be tutored. You are going to be trained by a certified IELTS coach who would not just help you. She's someone that she's certified. When I mean she's certified, she has been certified to actually teaching English as a foreign language. You understand? And she also did her IELTS and made it. Do you understand? So with the online course she has curated and created, do you understand? You will be able to, you understand? Let's say for instance, before I even talk about that, let's say for instance you want to get the 8.0, 7.0, 7.0, and 7.0 IELTS on a short time frame within 3 to 5 weeks. You are going to need four things. Firstly, you are going to need a reliable coach like her. Two, you are going to need a low risk in the sense that you are not just going to jump into applying or jump into, you understand, getting into that examination hall without being prepared. And that's the mistake people do. Many people have met some people that have applied, you understand, have taken IELTS 3 times, 4 times, 5 times without getting trained. They just got materials online, you understand, that are not even verified, that are not even, you understand, authenticated, and used it. So you will need a repeatable system of knowing what the IELTS officials need and giving them exactly what they need. You would also need something that is low cost, that you will not spend so much time, you will not spend so much cost, so much money. Some people have paid, you understand, British Council a whole sum, and that's why let me be frank with you. IELTS cannot stop. You understand? Because they are making millions, in fact billions, what am I saying? Billions from it. So don't give IELTS, don't give British Council, don't give IDP Australia, MOD, you understand, education, don't give them free money. Do you understand? Do it once and for all. And the golden 7778 IELTS course is the single framework I know about that would help you meet all these requirements of the reliable coach, the low risk, the repeatable process, and the low cost. Now, if you need to excel in the IELTS, as I said, this is the fastest, the cheapest, and surest way to get the successful test results. But mind you, before I talk about it, in fact, Badejo used the same framework that was taught to get his golden 877 and 7 IELTS band scores. And he wrote in his testimonial that he was able to get qualified for his PNP through this, you understand, because of the EFI, or what we know as the golden 877 IELTS course. Now, here is what you will get if you actually sign up for this together with all other things we have for you. Firstly, you'll be able to understand the English for IELTS online course. You'll be able to develop more your language skills, your listening, reading, writing, and speaking. You would also be able to take English prep classes at least 3 times a week. So there will be online classes that will be taken with you. You're not just going to be left to just go through a course. No, there are virtual classes that will be taken with you so that you would be able to speak with a coach. You'll be able to learn from someone, you understand, one on one or in a group. Also, you'll be able to learn the question answering skills for 100% test success in just one sitting. I always tell people IELTS is not about you speaking English. It's about you knowing how to answer questions. If you know how to answer questions, then you have succeeded. And we are going to be showing you that. You would also have full-time lifetime access to 95 plus lessons and 12 hours on demand video of online courses that are on our website. You would also get the ability to communicate and interact with English orally and literally. You will also get to prepare for the English test within a short time period. And we always say within 3 to 5 weeks, you should be very ready for it if you can speak French, English. You would also have an access to our library of test materials and practice exercises, which we actually got on prepmyfuture.com and all other platforms which we talked about in the part one. And you would also get to enroll for our mock examination during the completion of the program. So before you even go and write the real exam, you would write the mock exam which was created for you, so that you will know that once, and this has really helped, just like Badejo, he helped him because he was able to know what could come out in his real exam before he actually went for it, and he excelled in it because of that. So we would also help you register for the exam freely if you actually enroll for this PMP Canada PMP system. And lastly, you'll be able to get your band 8.0 overall. It can be 7.0, 8.0, 7.0, and 7.0, or even above, just like I showed you my result where I got above that in all four language skills. Now, this course cost us more than 2 years of training, and we didn't love it seriously because it was 2 years of lost IELTS registration fees. As I showed you how I spent monies at signing up for IELTS 3, 4 times before I actually found out what worked. Now, it was also costly because I had to spend money on test center transport fare. Sometimes I had to write it in Lagos, sometimes I had to write it in Ilorin. You understand? Sometimes, even for French, I wrote some exams in Ibadan. So it took me, I spent a lot learning what works. And I don't want you to actually spend, because the funny thing is that the officials of IELTS cannot refund this money. The fact that you failed do not mean that they didn't provide you with what can make you succeed. You understand? So they can't refund you. So, but we can save you all this stress so that you just don't do it the not fun way. You can use the shortcuts we have available for you, aka the fun way, so that you can start your PMP program almost like tomorrow. Now, to make sure you actually get started, I value the golden 877 and 7 IELTS course at just a fraction of, yes, our time and our investment of money. You understand? Which is $599. But again, you are not going to be spending that. Now, here is what you get. We have talked about the immigration pre-evaluation process, and we have talked about the English for IELTS, or the golden 8777 online course, which has the total value of 1,498. Now, I want to actually talk to another person in the audience today. If you are someone who wants to learn a second language, or you want to perfect the French language you speak already, or you want to even specifically prepare for the TEF or TCF Canada examination, then I personally, I made this for you. And that is the French for TEF or TCF Canada course. Now, this test d'évaluation de français course, le cours, would help you to do quite a lot of things. Firstly, it would help you learn French. It would help you prepare for TEF Canada or TCF Canada simultaneously. It will help you know the TEF marking guide. You understand? It will help you know the e-learning tools, online learning tools you could use to prepare and excel in TEF Canada examination, even if you are too old, even if you hate French. It would also help you to put your language, your mindset into that language mentality, and even have access to our Facebook, our Facebook um platform group, private group. Now, here is how learning French and preparing for TEF or TCF Canada will distinguish you for Canada PMP. It will give you more options, basically, because the options English speakers have is different from the options French speakers have. You understand? You have more options. That's just the truth. I was selected by Ontario by the virtue of my French. I was also selected by Quebec by the virtue of not only my French but my tech skill. And this can actually work for you too if you have that French skill. Do you understand? I got, as I said, my nomination through French speaking skilled worker stream under the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. It also helped me get access to better job and a better income. 35% of people that speak French in Canada, no, what am I even saying? Sorry. 35% of population of Canadians already know French, and they earn more than people that just know English, or people that know India or Hindu rather, or people that know, because there are a lot of Indians here, or people that know, you understand, Punjabi and all other languages. And lastly, people don't know this last opportunity or benefit. You get to decide which language you want to communicate with. Some people would always ask me that, okay, even though I learn French now, sometimes I may be scared. I may not know what to say. I may not know how to say it. What if I come to Canada and they say I must speak French because I put it in my application? The answer to that is they can never mandate you to speak any language you don't want to speak at a particular point in time. Some people will say, okay, once I'm landing and I get into the airport, hope they will not ask me to speak French to validate. No, they won't. I was there. I experienced it. They never asked me to speak what I was not willing to speak. You understand? They never asked me to show my proof of French apart from the one that I put in my application. So you don't need to stress yourself so much on things that doesn't matter. Now, for many of you, this French skill and test results can cut your visa wait time in half. And it did for me. Instead of waiting 150 days or even more to actually get my visa approved, I just waited 90 days to actually, and that's 3 months, to actually get from creating my profile in the express entry. You understand? My profile for what? For Ontario. You understand? And getting that interest letter from Ontario to actually move to Canada through that, you understand, pathway, the PMP pathway. Now, here is what you would get if you finally want to enroll for the French for TEF Canada course. And this is what it will show you how to do. It will show you firstly how to start up learning French from scratch. If you are complete, if you are a complete French beginner, or even if you don't even like French at all, even though you hate French. Two, it will help you set up your life using the French culture, even if you are an introvert. It will help you learn the French sounds and speak like a French speaker. It will help you form French words and conjugate verbs, even if you are not a language learning genius, which I am not as well, or even if you don't have much time to learn. It would also help you to tell the gender of French nouns and adjectives and how to be spontaneous in your speech to show your eloquence and more. And it will help you construct sentences and rules guiding it and how to use sentences to form paragraphs and speeches, even if you think you are too old to learn French. And lastly, it will help you to give details from French designs, French sketches, French graphs, French drawings, charts, and pictures, which you would most likely see in, you understand, Canada when you come. And even if you have not even taken DEF or you have not taken TEF Canada before. Now, learning how what I have for you today, it took me 4 years of intense training to actually figure out how it works. And this is what exactly, literally, I'm going to help you achieve. You understand? Once you actually sign up, do you understand? So that you can become a permanent resident in Canada through the PMP route. All right. Now, someone said, I am interested in the TEF for Canada training. Oh, thank you very much. I want to go in. I said at the backyard. You understand? I want to go in because I see the laptop is kind of low right now. So the answer the question that you are interested. I have basic knowledge of French. This is a very good one. Basic knowledge in French language. Yes, you can. And I'm glad that you are interested in it. In the Canada PMP system, which we are talking about today, we are going to show you how exactly you can actually make that work for you. We will show you how exactly you can actually learn French simultaneously while preparing for TEF Canada. Don't worry, once we are done with this, we would show you how you can actually register, you understand, to actually start the training with us. And we have lots of people who have actually used this system and gotten, you understand, results from it. So instead of spending 4 years like I spent from 2018 down to 2023, we can actually cut that time you are going to spend, you understand, barely into months, so that you don't spend so much time as I spent to crack up how this works. And the value for this, because it will take about 3 to 6 months to learn if you are just starting as a beginner, the value to this is going to be roughly about 1,997 1,999 or 97 rather 97 to actually get this. And again, it could help you to get into Canada. One, it will also help you to, you understand, to actually get the value of what I'm trying to talk about today. You understand? So the investment in our time and money is even more than this cost. But again, you're not going to be spending that on the Canada immigration, you understand, or the PMP or the TEF Canada, you understand, alone. So now the total value of what we talked about today, you understand, the PR, the permanent resident immigration pre-evaluation process, 899 value, dollars value. Now the other one is the English for IELTS, which is the Golden 877 and 7 online course, for the value of 599 US dollars value. Likewise, we also have now the TEF Canada added to it, which is worth $1,997 value. Now, the total value for that is $3,495. But it doesn't end there. I want to also ask you, now let's say you are just here, just like, okay, Joy said she is here for the TEF for TEF French for TEF Canada training. Some of you may just be here for the PNP application training. You understand? If you are here for the PNP application system, and if maybe for instance you already have your IELTS, you already have your what they call it, your ECA done, you already have your TEF or TCF Canada results sorted already, then I have a very good news for you. I made this particularly specifically for you, the Canada PNP processing playbook. Now, there's a reason why I call it playbook, because in the playbook you will see quite a lot of things, but you would also have access to a lot of things. You would also have, a kind of VIP, what they call it, VIP treatment from some people that are even beyond me in Canada, working with you, making sure you actually get your value, you get what you actually want as fast as possible. Now, here is why it is awesome. One, you don't need to focus on the PMP process yourself. There are people that would get it done for you. Do you understand? With this Canada PMP system. Two, you don't need to bother about keeping track of the latest PMP draws in all the 10 provinces and 3 territories in Canada. They would actually help you do that. Your application would surely stand out from the rest, because we are going to be working with people that have years of experience, tens or decades of experience. Four, if you like, you can just get us to apply for 3 to 4 PMP most assured pathways by just choosing them for us, and we working on it. Now, and successful immigrants and immigration experts can do this for you. Do you understand? And what does it mean when I say they can do it for you? That means you are not going to stress yourself. They would get it done on your behalf. All you need, you understand, to get your NOI, your nomination, and your visa fast would all be done by other people for you. So you don't need to stress yourself at all. Now, getting this playbook now can fast track your PNP application. In short, once you have this with you, your Canada PNP processing become very hard to stop. And at the very least, once you key into it, you can sleep at night knowing that you will get your visa, your PR visa soon. Now, I need to make you understand something. Here are the things you are going to benefit, you understand, from the Canada PNP processing playbook. Do you understand? If you actually enroll and you work with us, one, you will get how to you learn how to get notification of interest from 1 to 2 provinces within the next 1 to 3 months, depending on your situation. Two, you would also learn how to submit the first PMP and subsequent IRCC federal application as well. Because even though they would assist you in doing this, you would also be trained simultaneously on how it is being done. Do you understand? If you want, because some people always wonder, okay, let me know what you are doing. Let me see. And we always advise it. Don't just give someone. Some people make the mistake, especially in Nigeria, of giving travel agents their applications and letting that person do it alone. The bad thing about that is that when there are now issues, or when they need further documentations from you, and if that person has a lot of people, you understand, to attend to, and you are not there to see that yes, this thing is needed, they have told us to submit this additional document or so, you can actually get to forfeit. It has happened to someone that reached out to us before. It happened to him whereby the agent didn't even know that they asked for another documentation, and because of that, he went beyond the, you understand, the deadline, and because of that, he lost the ITA. So we don't want you to suffer that kind of predicament. So we also will train you on how to position yourself for federal skilled and trades programs as well, because as you know it, just as we talked about in the part one, federal skilled programs and federal skilled trades program are being, you understand, you understand, conducted right now. So you can actually get rounds of it. You can actually get invited by any of these programs under the Express NGO as well while we are working on your PMP pathways. Now, you would also be taught how to get the nomination approval letter and the confirmation of nomination. You would also be taught how to obtain the invitation to apply for federal application and how to get your proof of funds sorted as quickly as and cheapest as possible. Now, the reason for training you on this, even though they are going to help you with this, is that you can as well have other people that want to benefit from this. And that's what I talked about in the part one, that yes, we are talking about this to you today so that you would do it for yourself and your family members, and you would also take it further, because even if you get other people to do it as well, you can also get to earn from that. And we'll talk about that shortly. Now, this playbook would also teach you how to decide between going for upfront medicals or waiting until you have been directed by the IRCC to do, because some people will rush, waste money on upfront medicals. I've seen people in like Lekki, Lagos, before I came to Canada, wasting money to do upfront medicals without being told, or wasting money at the wrong time doing upfront medicals when they were not meant to do it. And it's not cheap. It's hundreds of thousands of naira. So don't do that, especially for families. Now, how to get your police clearance certificate and how to sort out any criminal records that you have would also be explained to you in this playbook. You understand on how to go about it. Because we're not in Nigeria, most of us, people that are working with us, and even people that we have partnered with, organizations we have partnered with, they are in Canada as well. So most times we may not be in Nigeria, but would give you links on how you can get your police clearance certificate sorted in Nigeria or in any other country you have, and how to actually do that easily. Now, it would also help you to fast track the wait time for your request for biometrics and your international passport. We would even also show you how to contact IRCC directly and, you understand, quickly update your application. We'll show you how to use the application tracking system. Some people don't know that Canada now has the application tracking system for most of all the applications you can ever think of. So now you would use the application tracking system not just for family sponsorship, but also for permanent residents. Provincial Nominee Program, I used it during my time when I was applying for Provincial Nominee Program under the Ontario Migrant Nominee Program. And it showed me the progress, how my application was going from one stage to another, how one visa officer was getting it from one thing to another, so that I was not just left in limbo wondering that, okay, this thing is not working. I saw how it was working. You understand? Now, it will also show you how to get a Canadian employer to give you a job offer quickly after landing in Canada. And this is priceless, because I would show you again how some people have reached out to me online that I should get them jobs even though they're in Canada. So please, mind you, the fact that you're in Canada doesn't mean that you would easily get a job, especially if you don't know how to create your CV, which we would definitely talk about and help you with. You understand? There's a training that would help. We'll talk about the training shortly, so that maybe when we get there, I would explain that in detail. Now, in fact, these are the exact steps, step-by-step process I used in immigrating to Canada myself, together with my common law partner. And I like to talk about this timeline because this timeline is very important for anyone that wants to get serious in actually working to come to Canada. One, I created my profile just like you saw in the previous slide I showed, March 19, 2022. I got my first NOI, which we explained as notification of interest, in June 21, 2022. I got the Ontario A.O.R, or I paid rather, the first payment, you understand, for the acknowledgement of receipts for OINMP. I think that time it was 1,500 Canadian dollars, you understand, in the month of July 23, 2022. And even though I didn't have the money, there are ways we were able to actually generate the money, and how we could definitely teach you on how to actually get the money for yourself when the time comes. Now, we got our second NOI, second notification of interest. That was, the first one was from Ontario, the other one was from Quebec, 15th of September 2022. We got the fifth one, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program PMP nomination, on November 10, 2022. On the 16th was our ITA from the federal government. We got that on November 23, 2022, just 12 days or 13 days after. Now, we got the federal A.O.R. We paid for the, you understand, the fee. Instead of us paying instrumentally, we decided to pay everything at once. We paid for biometrics, we paid for application what do you call it, application fee, we paid for right of permanent residency fee, everything, we pay for everything at once. But you can decide to break it down depending on how much you have. But so in December 2019, 2022, we paid for that. Now our passport request actually came in, you understand, in March 15, 2023 of this year. And after that, the visa collection was April 6, 2023. And lastly, we landed in Canada as PR under the PNP route in the month of what? May 19, 2023. And that is where that picture shows when they sent us the documents for visa to actually submit our international passport for visa. Now, what am I saying in essence? I want to save you the 11 months of trial and error we used. Because if you look at the timeline, especially the timeline starting from June when we first got our first NOI down to May, it took us about roughly 11 months. So I want to save you that time of trial and error to see what works, what didn't work. And the 7,500 USD then, which is now about 12,000 USD in terms of Nigerian exchange rates, because it was Naira we were using to pay. It took me and my common law partner to learn this. And as I do always say, I want to give you a kind of legit winning visa lotto number. You understand? Legit visa lotto numbers, even though, quote and unquote, I must state that I've seen some funny things online where they will show that the government of Canada has a Canada visa lottery applying now. It is fake. Please know that it is fake. There's nothing like visa lottery. It's not like US. They don't give it. But I can give you a sure lotto number. You understand? That can assist you one way or the other. Do you understand? So that you can cash in money that are legit from the government of Canada. You can cash in visa from the government of Canada, not only by myself. I can't do it alone. And that brings me to the next step. If you could literally ignore everything else I taught you today and yesterday and use this that I want to talk about, do you understand, to work on your PNP application to migrate to Canada, it will be worth it, because you will never have to worry about any limiting temporary residence pathway again. I never worried about study permits. I never did any study permit application. I never did any work permit application. I never did any visitor visa application. Why? Because I didn't need it. One, and because I didn't have the monies that they were asking for, you understand, tuition, for all those things. It was shitty. But that was how I was able to come in through permanent residence PNP. And I want to tell you that yes, Canada PNP system, the PNP processing system that I've been talking about today, if you have been wondering who the hell have I been talking about, the PNP experts that I said that are going to actually help you, because I'm just a successful Canada immigrant. I don't consider myself, I am not an immigration lawyer, but we have immigration lawyers we have partnered with. An immigration lawyer we have partnered with. We also partnered with a licensed representative. That means a regulated Canadian immigration consultant who is also part of our partners that would assist you in actually getting this sorted. We have also partnered with a top consultant, a top business development consulting firm that would definitely help you, because they have access to those job or Canadian employers that would help you to actually, or that would give you that job offer that you want once you land into Canada easily. Now, disclaimer, I always like to talk about this disclaimer anytime I'm giving a webinar. Just like I stated while I was talking, and as I showed you, you understand, we are not a consultant. A.O.S abroad is not a consultant, but we partnered with consultants. We are not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer myself, but I partnered with an immigration lawyer in Canada. You understand? I don't even consider myself as a travel agent. You understand? And that is why we self-identify. If you know Canada, they are always very, very, you understand, strict when it comes about identification. And that's why I'm stating it here that we self-identify as a language school. As you saw in our registration, we registered under the government of Canada as a language school. And what I'm trying to tell you now and in this place now is that we're a language school, and the Canadian industry states clearly that these kind of organizations can provide courses which we have been talking about, that we will provide you with in language instructions. And likewise, we can help you, we can provide you with career and educational opportunities, trainings, intensive training courses for career and educational opportunities. And that is why on our website we state that we are an all-in-one language relocation and career development firm. Do you understand that? Now, all what we have been saying since the Canada PNP processing playbook, it is a life-changing opportunity for you, and I valued it at just one out of 1,000 of our combined investment, the combined investment of ourselves, the combined investment of the licensed immigration consultant I talked about, the combined access that you get from the immigration lawyer that we work with, and the business development consulting firm we talked about. You would get all this. You understand the value of 5,999 997. You understand? I don't know why I've been making mistake of 999 997, so that you'll be able to get firstly your Canada PNP processing sorted, to get all the steps you need to apply for permanent residence, to get trainings on your job search, and to also get finally your permanent resident status in Canada. Now, yeah, what I talked about that you will get. Firstly, you will get the immigration pre-evaluation process. You understand, which is valid for $899. Do you understand? US dollars. Now, also, I stated that you would get the English for IELTS, EFI, or what we know the alias, the Golden 877 and 7 online course. You understand, for 599 USD. Likewise, I talked about you getting our French for TEF Canada online training course for $1,997 value. And I talked about just now how you would get the Canada PNP processing playbook for 5,997 worth. And the total value for that is $9,492. But again, that is not the amount you'll be spending. Now, remember when I said in the part one that a man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an opinion. And this quote, I enjoy it because it's by L.H. Hardwick, one of the persons I respect so dearly. Now, I want you to understand that everybody is as big as their biggest excuse. If you have the excuse that yes, you can't make things work, you are right. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing I can do to help you if you have any of these limiting beliefs about the possibility of your immigration. Likewise, if you want to work with someone that doesn't have the experience in PNP out there, I can't help you. But if you want to work with me that I have first-hand experience about how this works, then I have to tell you, we cross the oceans. You understand? Leaving Africa and landing in Brampton, Canada, using this same roadmap I just outlined for you, the Canada PNP system. And the reason I know that this looks like what I've been saying is because I have lived it and I am currently enjoying it. This is the place I am actually talking from right now, 76 Vesna Crescent, Brampton, Ontario. You understand? Just like you saw on our website, and likewise on our, you understand, registered business document. This is where we are doing business. And I am showing you this so that you know where I am currently. I was downstairs and I came upstairs and showed you all around where I am now. And I'm telling you this so that you know that the books that you have access to, that you would have access to after this training, the courses you have access to, the trainings you have access to, and the support you have access to are the living documentations of my journey right from Lagos, Nigeria. See that country, man. Right from Lagos, Nigeria, through the airport that we went through into Ontario, Canada. Look at the transformation. Look at where we were and where we are now. So if you want to also move and you want to also achieve what I've been able and my common law partner have been able to achieve, you have to note this, that We were stuck for 4 years, struggling, you understand, in Nigeria, especially precisely in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria, before I relocated to Lagos firstly, you understand, after my business literally crashed. The issue that I faced in Nigeria was unsurmountable, was something that I felt that meant I just had to leave the country for, because I was struggling financially. I was struggling to make ends meet. I was struggling even with my health. Do you understand? And someone actually asked me a question that was quite defining. A friend in Ilorin asked me when I was complaining to her bitterly about how my business was not working, how I got frustrated by, you understand, the corruption in the country. She asked me a question that, are you scared of starting all over again elsewhere? And this was the defining moment that I knew that, okay, yes, I built my business from scratch when I finished university. And definitely, for me to have done that, I can definitely also redo what I did the first time anywhere else, because I already know the systems on how to start up and grow a business. Now, I want you to know that this was my why. You understand? Because it was so glaring that if I stayed back in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria, only God knows what the corrupt Emirates men could have done. I remembered that we had set up an organization. I was, as I told you, the director of my business. I was the CEO. I had a registered business. I had started business. A.O.S Academy was our name then. You understand? We had a structure. We had a building we started with. Do you understand? We had a billboard we invested in. We had we go to, you understand, radio station to advertise our things. But when we started seeing the successes and we started celebrating our achievements, the problems came, corruption came, greedy people came. Do you understand? To always want to benefit from what they didn't plant. You understand? We had a lot of, you understand, ministries coming to say yes, we had to pay one tax, one levy, one, you understand? And we saw that our counterparts who were Ilorin Emirates people, you understand, who were indigens of Ilorin, because I came from Lagos, you understand, we saw that these people didn't pay the taxes we were paying. We saw that the harassment, as people will come, just like you see in the picture, some of the people that they send to come and threaten us will come and say that, okay, we didn't pay so amount of levy and they want to remove our billboard, you understand, from it. And we found out that we could have paid, like just like what happened the first year or the second year thereabout. We paid to one particular person, but that person didn't, you understand, didn't literally give the government the money. You understand? We went to their offices and we found out that even in the office, there are more corruption than even outside where we paid, because in the office, you understand, Kwara State Signatory Agency, one of the offices I'm talking about, we had to pay the boss, we had to pay, you understand, the secretary, we had to pay different series of people on just one billboard. So we found out that the money we were making from just one publicity, we were paying more than that money. You understand? Due to corruption, due to nepotism and favoritism. You understand? And because of that, we didn't see the success again. It started to diminish. And as a result of that, I knew that I just had to leave that country and I had to leave that state. I had to move. And I didn't just want to just leave a state and just say, okay, I'll go and start up elsewhere, because I knew Nigeria was the problem. I just had to leave Nigeria. So if you are like me and you didn't get anything from this, you understand, presentation, and you just got something which is clarity. Like, if you ignored, let me just state it as I wrote it, if you ignored everything else we said today and you just got clarity on what you should be doing next, then I think I'm fulfilled. You understand? If you got clarity on the importance of migrating from your home country, you understand, to where I am currently residing now, Canada, I think all what we have been saying from yesterday till today is really worth it. So if you got clarity on the entire value of what I'm talking about, then I need to tell you that all the stuff that we have been telling you would get, the Canada PNP training, the immigration pre-evaluation process, the French for TEF Canada online course, the Golden 877 and 7 online course, and the Canada PNP processing playbook, all of them are worth a total value of 9,492. But again, you are not going to be actually paying or investing in that. But before I tell you what you are going to be investing in, I want to compare between some things, and you need to really listen to understand what I'm trying to say. These systems I'm trying to explain to you are more valuable than the services that would normally sell for 15,000, 25,000, and even 40,000 from lawyers and regulated Canada immigration consultants, RCICs. Do you understand? Who have some of them have never gone through the experiences, because some of them are Canadians themselves. Some of them, you understand, they have never gone through the experiences, the hurdles that I talked about in trying to learn French, in trying to prepare for IELTS. There are many RCRCs that are not even French speakers, and truthfully, they don't need it to become RCICs. Some don't need it to become lawyers. But the reason why I'm telling you all this is that I spoke to lawyers, I spoke to people that I met here, and they said if they are to combine all these services, all these courses, all these trainings, and all these support systems that I am collating in this, you understand, training, in this webinar, they said it's going to be 15,000. They will charge 25,000, 40,000 for this. Dollars now, not naira. But again, you are not going to be paying that, because these systems that I'm talking about is worth more than even the price. Now, notice as well that these systems would also give you easier access to much more cheaper proof of funds if you need them, because I need to say it, than the regular POFs that requires, you understand, approximately 13,000 based on the Canadian immigration website, 13,000 Canadian dollars to 36,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly 10 million naira right now to 27 million naira to actually get to move to Canada. You understand? You have to have those proof of funds legally in your bank account, but many people don't have it, and there are ways we can assist you legally as well to actually get those proof of funds without you spending too much money on your money. And I talked about that in one of my trainings with people that are enrolled, that we use what we know as OPM, other people's money, to sort that out. So instead of you paying all this, it's going to be worth it for you to pay for this Canada PNP and to enroll for this Canada PNP training instead of it. Now, apart from that, this would also give you hilariously more value than the price of a 2-year or a 4-year diploma or degree course that you could have originally spent as an international student in Canada. Because, you know, as I talked about, if you come to study in Canada as an international student, you will pay 3 times, 4 times, in fact, up to 6 times more than what the Canadian citizens and the permanent residents would normally pay for the same degree. You are not having a better degree than them. You will get the same degree, the same certificate they too will get, but you will just pay more than what they are actually paying for. And why pay for it itself when you can get it freely if you come as a permanent resident? Now, still, the value of this offer that I'm talking about today, it exceeds that you can get from any so-called travel agent out there, because travel agents will just work on your visa. Perhaps they will not teach you IELTS, they will not teach you TEF Canada, they will not even train you on how to get job offers, they will not help you to succeed in Canada. And we are going to do that for you, from which you have seen. You understand? This has helped me not only move to Canada, it has not only helped my partner, but it has also helped me set up my business, just as I showed you, which have made me consecutively, concurrently, on a monthly basis, at least 3 million naira, which is like 4,500 Canadian dollars on a monthly basis ever since I've landed in Canada. So if you want to actually have access to that, and please note as well, the minimum wage in Canada is roughly like 3,000 Canadian dollars, which is roughly like 2.5 million. So even with that, this investment will be worth it, because in hard costs, I spent just 6.7 million naira when I did mine, as I told you, which was roughly 7,500 Canadian dollars. You understand? As I then to figure out what actually works. But I have made, as I've showed you, if you have calculated since May that we landed up until this period, we have made more than what we actually invested in it. And if you were to pay me and other experts, like the immigration lawyer we talked about, the regulated licensed Canadian immigration consultant we talked about, and the business development consulting firm, if you are to pay all of us separately, you understand, to teach you and work with you on a one-on-one basis based on your specific immigration case, I was made to know that it would have cost in excess of 75,000 Canadian dollars to actually get all this. So the worth of this is massive, but you are not going to be spending that. So if I was to price this as what it is truly worth, I wouldn't have had any issue asking you to invest the real value of roughly 10,000 Canadian dollars for this particular Canada PNP system. But again, you are not going to spend on this. But before I again talk about what you spend, I want to actually state something before I tell you the price. Let me ask you a question. How much is your perfect Canada immigration worth to you? How much is your better job career, better job prospects, getting higher incomes, just like I told you before? How much is it worth to you? Hmm? Hold on that number or the answers in your head. Is actually getting security of your lives and properties, is it worth it? In Nigeria currently, we are facing a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and many people are frustrated because some people feel they are above the law. Some people do things and they don't care about the law. But here, no one is above the law. Do you understand? No one is above the law. In fact, here I've been traveling. I traveled to Benin Republic. I was in Nigeria, and sometimes when I see the police, without even doing anything, I'm scared because I know they can just grab me and say I did something or want to extort me. But here you see the police, and when I went to the Canada Day celebration, I was so glad because the police were so welcoming, so helpful. When we also went last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, to the beach, Wasaga Beach. For those people that are watching me or that are following me from Instagram, you'll see my post on Wasaga Beach. We saw the police and they courteously gave us audience. You understand? They helped us to carry our luggages. How many police will do all those? You understand? For you in other countries. So, if how much is this worth to you? Is it worth your universal health care, as I talked about in part one of this training, where we got into a pharmacy and we did a test? What, you understand, X-ray, like any kind of X-ray, what, thousands of naira in Nigeria for free in Canada? Is it worth your child care, your free child care, instead of you paying for daycare, what you could have got cheaply or even for free here? Unemployment insurance, if you are unemployed here, the government will still pay you if, and if, I must tell you, you are a Canadian citizen or you are a permanent resident, because they won't even care for you if you are an international student or a visitor or a temporary worker. Now, public pension, there's a pension structure again for you that you can benefit from after you finish working, and that's why many people want to retire here. Disability benefit, if you are disabled, the government has some certain amount, some certain social benefits they would give you. I'm not disabled, I've seen people that are getting this. Family benefits that you can actually, I told you in the part one, where one of our friends that have been in Canada before us actually came to Canada. She was heavily pregnant, but she came in as a permanent resident, and they actually gave birth. They actually afforded, the government to charge basically for our what? For our childbirth. In Nigeria, if they see that, okay, you are wealthy like this, they'll just say you have to do COS, even though your wife doesn't need COS. And the money they would collect for doing the surgery to actually bring out the baby, they would not want to say, okay, they will bring out the baby first. During COVID-19 pandemic, I knew of people, you understand, where they took their wife to the hospital to actually give birth, but because of the rubbish or the corruption of, you understand, the new naira notes as at then, as it affected them, we saw some people whereby the wife had to give up the ghost, the child had to die because They didn't have the new naira note. It was the old naira note, and the doctors that were to do the CS were not willing to collect the old naira note. Imagine. See this, the moral decadence. See the corruption, the nepotism, and everything the Nigerian government has put us through. You understand? So if you want free education, is getting the permanent Canada immigration package worth your free education in Canada? Parental leaves, where your parents can actually take leaves and come visit you in Canada freely without actually paying it there. Is it worth that to you? Please answer that question affirmatively. Put it on the comment section. Let me know that you're actually here and listening and understanding what I'm saying. So what I'm saying in essence is this: without a doubt, if you got proof, with no doubt, that you can access all what I talked about today, and you can even get more, wouldn't it be worth it at least that much? Do you understand? Because with the PNP system, I told you I got 600 CRS points and exceeded even the draw cutoffs that time, which was about 500. I exceeded it. You understand? People that we worked with too, like Sheye too, he also, as at the time he did is, he also exceeded what was required of him. Do you understand? So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that this system works. And definitely it is worth it at any price we put it. But again, we are not putting it at a price of the real value, which is 10,000, even though it is going to be a good bargain. But before I talk about how much it's going to go for, I want you to consider something. As I talked about Nigeria, I saw the statistics online and I was very, very happy about the statistics. They said from 2017 to 2022, 57,000 nurses left Nigeria. 2015 to 2022, 128,770 students left for the UK. 2015 to 2021, they said 28,358 got Canada permanent residence. 2015 to August 2022, they said 6,068 doctors left Nigeria. Nigerian students contributed 1.9 billion, not million, no, billion pounds to the UK government yearly. Now, what do you feel? They said 2022 to 2021, 1.8 million 26,771 passports were issued in Nigeria. What do you think they are using those passports to do? To jackpot. Do you understand? The inflation rate in Nigeria, it increased 9% and 22.41% within May 2018 to what? To June 2023 in Nigeria, a country that doesn't even support the increment of what? Of minimum wage. And how do you expect people to survive in that kind of atmosphere? How do you expect people to survive? Now, even the new government now is before, after the Buhari election, the Buhari problem that was tackling corruption, the problem that they were facing, the subsidy removal at that time when Buhari wanted to remove it, is what the present government of Tinubu have removed now. And see what happened. Do you understand? See our queues. You understand? Apart from the fact that they removed subsidy, there's even now a scarcity. I don't even know if it has improved now. But what I'm trying to say in essence is for you to understand it. If all this was to allow you to relocate quickly and cheaply like it did for me, if it was to allow you to shift from, you understand, a less paying industry to a high paying job or business like it did for me, if it was to save you from the witnessing the present hardship in Nigeria or in your own country like it did for me, would this package be worth it? Would this Canada PNP system be worth it? If it was to change, like, see the naira, for instance, the naira is devaluing every now and then. The amount it took me to actually relocate yesterday, and when I mean yesterday, you understand, early this year, now you can't use that same amount to relocate now because you need to pay more due to the bad exchange rate of the black market. So I want you to understand it. Is it worth it for you to quickly relocate through the permanent residence pathway, the PNP pathway, right now? If it is worth it, then do you feel, instead of the real value of 10,000, do you understand, which is even a good bargain, do you feel that the better bargain, a bigger bargain of $6,997, would you feel it is a good bargain for you to pay to actually get this? Put it on the chat section. Is it okay for you to pay this amount, 6,997? But before I actually talk more on that, because once you relocate to Canada and they land a job, I want to make you understand it, which we will help you with, because we are not just going to leave you, as I said, in limbo. See someone that came into Canada, a Nigerian. I think this was Debbie, the first one. She said, "Hi, I am a Nigerian. Just migrated to Canada a couple of months ago. I am looking for a job. I can do any job to survive. I live in London, Ontario, Canada. I don't know if you have a link to help me. I can do customer service, administrative roles, and also caregiver jobs. Please help me. Looking forward for your help. Thank you." Now, I want you to understand something. That is why I do tell people, the fact that you come to Canada, some people, the influx of people are really affecting Canada now. I'm seeing a lot of people coming in as international students, coming in as visitors, but they don't tackle the you understand, the elephant in the room, which is the problem of getting a job. Do you understand? They don't tackle it, or they don't plan. I want to say tackle. They don't plan towards it, because you may not have a job in Nigeria, but plan towards getting it when you land in Canada. But Deborah didn't. She didn't plan it. Victor actually also didn't plan it. He said, "Good afternoon, sir. I am reaching out to you to few of my LinkedIn connections for assistance. I got admission into a UK university, have paid the initial tuition deposit and some fees. Presently, I'm at the visa stage and I need financial assistance for payment of the visa and IHS fee. I would really appreciate your assistance so as not to lose this opportunity. Thank you, sir." Who beg you? Please, let's be frank. Who beg her or him to actually get the UK admission? Why get the admission when you don't have the money, or you don't have ways to get the money? Because as I said, you may not have all the complete money before you start, but have ways, have plans towards getting it. If, for instance, I give, or we give this kind of person the money that she wants for tuition fee or IHS fee now to go, and the course is 3 years, am I still the one that will be paying for that after the first year? So what I'm trying to say is that you need to actually have a structure in place that would help you get a job, which would help you with if you work with us. It would also help you get a high paying job, not just any job, help you get access to government free education, would also help you get a better standard of living and quality of life for you and your family members, and would also help you pay for it. And this all these advantages would help you pay for what you are to pay us for right now. It will pay for itself literally. The system will pay for itself in few months of you landing here, or even few weeks, with even you getting much more income as well that you can actually use to do other things. So I always tell people, don't be like this set of immigrants, you understand, that started on their relocation process and did not get the right support on time, or did not, you understand, pay for the right support on time. Please avoid this. Now, I always want to talk about the best part. The best part is that you can only invest once in this and become a permanent resident for life. Do you understand? You only, it is different from temporary residence. Temporary residence, if you come in as an international student today to Canada, you will still have to be battling with the fact that, yes, so okay, let me finish my studies. If I finish my studies, I get what they call it, graduates what the postgraduate work permit. After getting postgraduate work permit and applying for it successfully, which some people even get rejected of, I will still have to now bother about getting permanent residence later. Please, why focus on doing all those amount of stress for 2, 3, 4 different applications when you can just do one application, and that one application, after 3 years of staying here in Canada legally, you will be able to apply for Canada citizenship? Why stress yourself? Eh? So, which is why I feel the PR is the best international migration investment you can ever do in your life. If I had used my 6.5 million naira as at 2022, which was roughly 7,500 USD, in building my real estate investment or my business more in Nigeria, I bet you corruption, favoritism, and the bad economy there could have run it down faster than I invested in it. Why? Because as I showed you in this now, I said the land that I bought in 2018, you understand, at Ayeri as a local government, Kwara State, when I was serving, you understand, in 2017, I bought it, you understand, and paid it. I didn't pay for it at once. I paid for it subsequently. You understand? I bought this land, but it was repossessed by the people that I bought the land from. Why? Because of corruption, because of nepotism, because of favoritism. They first told me stories that, okay, oh, the baale of one community is fighting with an imam of one community on the land that is close to my own. Okay, how did that one affect me? Before you knew it, they were giving me stories that, okay, my own land too, they have already impounded on it, they have done this, they have done that. Why? That's to show you that corruption is in the, even though I didn't have CFO and I planned to, I wasn't even able to get, do you understand? I wasn't able to get the deed of transfer because they were giving me stories upon stories that, okay, the lawyer that was meant to draft it was not able to draft the deed. So. What I'm trying to say is, took I blame myself. I don't blame the government. I don't blame anything. But I'm trying to tell you that just as I made a mistake, it can happen to any other person. You understand? And sometimes you may not make mistake, but you may be cheated upon. And I don't want that for you, because in my business where I showed you that they came in with a lot of levies, a lot of taxes from the, you understand, government power starters. Even though I was working with, you understand, civil servants, they were duping me all in the name of ministries. So I want to tell you that anybody can fall prey of those kind of things. And instead of you working or being in a place that you fall prey of those things, best that you choose to invest in actually coming, relocating to Canada instead. So which one would you rather have? Would you rather have your 6,997 USD, which is roughly 6.5 million naira, or would you rather have your Canadian dream? Answer the question. You understand? Objectively. But now I want to tell you something, which is why this may be the best offer I have ever given at this price. I remember when I was to give this price and I spoke to my immigration lawyer, and he told me that if he was the one, the 6,997 was even already cheap. He wouldn't have reduced it to the amount that I'm reducing it now. So just to help more people get access to this thing, I'm not going to be charging the full amount of 10,000 US dollars only. I'm not also going to be charging $6,997 that I've put initially. Rather, I'm going to be charging the sum of $4,997 US dollars only for it. So if you want and you see it as something that you want, if you want the immigration pre-evaluation process, you want the French for TEP Canada application, you understand, online training, you want the golden 8777 online course for French for IELTS, and if you want the Canada PMP processing playbook, you just need to pay 4,997 US dollars only. And if you want to pay, you can send your payment screenshots after you have made payment. Do you understand? To email at, you understand, admin@aosacademy.com. On WhatsApp, you can chat us and send the screenshot on WhatsApp, or call or text our Canadian number for your Canada PMP package contract, which was created by our immigration lawyer, and the form that you would fill to actually get to start. Now, before I show you where you can actually pay into, I want to tell you something. I want to show you something as well, because I want each and every of you here to migrate to Canada in the next 6 to 12 months. Period. That's just my goal for you. As permanent residents of Canada forever, and still get your Canada citizenship within 3 months. Now, good question. Mrs. Omolara asked the question, is this amount for a family or an individual? Very good question. Now, the simple answer to that is that currently, for this particular offer, when I was talking to my immigration lawyer and another sense the immigration consultant, both of them in the when we were having the conference call on in their office, they were vexed that what do I mean? But I didn't focus on the money. I focused on the value we wanted to give. And that's why I told them that I wanted this to be not just for one person, but it should be for the totality of a family. Whether the family is just two, just like me and my common law partner, or whether the family is up to three, or four, or five, or six, or seven, or any amount, just for this offer. Because now, if I give you access to any of these, my immigration lawyer and the consultants, and even the business development consulting firm, the money you see on their website, because all of us have websites, the money you see on their website is far more than what you would definitely see here. But before I talk about the second question Joy is as Mrs. Joy is asking, I really want to talk about this. I would respond to your question, but just give me a moment because I have a slide for that question you asked. So I'll show you the slide shortly. I want you to understand that I know how life changing this system has been for me and my common law partner. We were in Lagos, Nigeria, and you can see in my face then. Let me bold in that a little. You can see that the guy has suffered. No doubt. Suffer was on his face. But within just how many months now? I think May, June, July, August. Within just 4 months, the guy is freshen up. It shows better life. And I want this to be as affordable for everyone as possible, but still a significant investment so that you know that yes, this is really worth it. Someone now asked, will it be an outright payment or an installment? Now, firstly, I want to tell you, you have to register now if you want to save up to the 80%. And I'll tell you why it's 80% because the 4997 is not the 80% of 10,000, but I'll tell you why it's 80%. Because it is the discounted package that we are giving you right now for this. And if you want to actually make payments, you can make payments through this what do they call it now? Through these platforms. Either you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/AOS abroad PNP package, or you transfer to the Nigerian official GTB bank account 0561848883. If you go on that link, anyone that is international, any country whatsoever, on that link you can pay either through PayPal or through Stripe. But if you go on this particular one, the transfer into Nigerian account, if you are in Nigeria, you pay into this. Now, I want to tell you something before I answer that question, because I want to answer that question, but I'm looking for a way. I'm trying to look for the slide right now. Before I almost forgot, there is more. There is more to the package we are talking about today. And on top of the other things I've talked about, on top of all these things you are going to get, you are still going to get other things. At the beginning of this presentation yesterday, I said I was going to help two types of people. One, I was going to help you people that are currently on this presentation who need to take action now and take care of themselves and their family members. And I promise you that I would help you get closer to that today and yesterday. So you are going to want to stay until the end. And I'm glad that a lot of people are staying until the end because I'm going to deliver on that big time. So I asked now, have I been able to keep my promise to group one? Have I, for those that watched yesterday's review and that of today, have I been able to keep it? Now, for everybody else, the second person, to help the other two people, there are three bonuses I want to give. I want to use it to help others. For those of you who are in the position to help me spread the word out, I'm going to show you how it is in your best interest to help every other person. And if you decide to join me, I will show you how we can accomplish both our missions together. One, I would give you access to another package that we have been selling before now, which is the Make Money and Migrate to Canada package. This package would literally help you to move abroad with OPM, other people's money. It will help you build, if you are an international student, build wealth as an international student. I have told you, and I think I'll put a link on the description section of this video afterwards, of the webinar that we did where we explained to people how you could make money right still in Nigeria from immigrants and international students. Do you understand? And earn as you relocate overseas. That was exactly what I did. Anybody that asks me for financial assistance, like the ones that I showed you earlier, these are the things I always tell them to do, because with this they can be able to make money through freelancing, through affiliate marketing, through referral commissions, and all other things that I'll talk about, you understand, or that I've talked about in this Make Money and Migrate to Canada package. But you'll be getting this package for 5,599 value, 599 US dollars value. You'll be getting it for free if you pay for this PMP, Canada PMP system. Two, you will also get the common law union partnership advantage. I think someone asked me yesterday that what is common law partnership? What's common law partner or union partnership? Common law literally is for someone that has not yet gotten married but has a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you understand, or someone that is close to him or her and wants to travel with that person. And that was exactly what I did. I didn't marry, I didn't want to go through the church of court. You understand? But how you would go through it, how you would make use of the right documentations to actually file for your common law partner is in another package that we have been selling separately. But we have added it, you understand, to this PMP, Canada PMP system. And it is valued for 999 US dollars, but we'll be giving you as well for free. Enyi, thank you very much. Mr. Enyi, this is a very good. But okay, we have another question. What if someone has already done WES evaluation and IELTS? Will he or she also pay $4,997? The valid answer to that is yes, because even WES IELTS, I still consider it as a kind of bonus. You understand? The major thing people are paying for is the Canada PMP system. It is only if you have done the Canada PMP system that is when you cannot pay, or you will not bother about paying the full price. If you have done IELTS, you have done TEF Canada, you still have to pay for the 4,997. Thank you very much for that wonderful response. Now, fast forward to 2 years from now. I want to ask you a question now. You have been asking me questions and I have been responding. Please answer my own questions now. What is your worst case scenario? Like, if you don't take this offer, what could actually happen in the next 2 years? And I will give you my own response before I expect yours. 2018, my first response to that is that I'll start my business in Nigeria. I'll make money from other immigrants. And that was what I did actually. I'll make money from other immigrants. But see, there's no money you make in Nigeria if you are not a politician, one, if you are not a footballer, two, or if you are not a social media influencer, three, all this like Sabinos and everything, brother, you cannot make money. Sister, you cannot make money as you could have made in Canada. That's just the fact. And take it from me, from someone that has experienced it within just short time of 4 months that I've been here. Sometimes I make so much money that, and this is not about bragging, is what is happening with every other person or most other people that take the kind of pathways I come through. You make money that sometimes you just have to just give charities. You have to, you understand, do other things like, okay, now we want to get into the real estate business in Canada, so that not only to get an accommodation that we didn't rent, but you understand, own, but to also help other immigrants moving into Canada. You understand? And that is one of my best case scenario. You understand? Because I took that action in 2020, but it didn't work for me. So I had to wait 2022 before I now moved in 2023. So is the value of the money that you are going to have made in Canada, is it worth you coming into Canada? Is the value of you not getting the negative, or not being in the negative culture of Nigeria that doesn't help entrepreneurship, or that doesn't help you get good high paying jobs, or doesn't even help you safeguard your life and security, because in Nigeria anything can happen. They can just kidnap. Sometimes they will just use people for money ritual, do a lot of things. I've heard a lot of, you understand, things that are not nice to hear. So is it worth it for you to actually stay back in the country, or is it worth it for you to have an option? I tell people, some people are rich enough that they can afford safety and security. Some people can afford some of the hills of the bad things of the country, you understand, to not affect them. But if you are not like them, is it worth it for you to get options? Even some of these people that are well-to-dos, you understand, like this guy that created this film, Jagun Jagun, what the Femi Adebayo and the rest of them. Some of them have, you understand, dual citizenship. Some of them have permanent resident status. Some of them have any, you understand, things in other countries, so that if anything happen, in Nigeria, they japa. So I want you to understand, is it worth you actually taking the risk not to actually get this offer now? If it is not, then I beseech you to get the limited offer right away. Now, some people may ask me that what, um, oh boy, okay. Some may ask, I think our few slides is just something is happening right now. About 12 slides are not showing. Okay, let me now answer the question. I was trying to go through the slides. I think we would have to go off the slide right now and add it up again. We just have about few slides to go. It's not quite much again. So this question that was asked by Mrs. Joy, I wanted to get through to the what did they call it now, to the slide before I answer that, but I think I'll be compelled to answer it right now. Yes, you can definitely actually pay, or it's not important. Maybe I should first state that it's not important to outrightly pay that at once. There are installment payments available that you can actually pay right now. Do you understand? To get started. Because as I said, I too didn't have the funds. I didn't have all the funds I used. All the 6.5 million I said that I used for my, you understand, me and my common law partner. We didn't have it. Nobody was born with silver spoon. You understand? It was tough. But what I'm trying to say is, you can definitely, do you understand? You can oh, thank you, Mrs. Joy. You said yes, having an option is the best. That's just the truth. Having a better option, not even just an option, a better and much fulfilling option is the best. You understand? Having a much fulfilling option, a better option is the best. Okay, thank you. I think our technology is getting back right now. So where we were was when we were talking about the what? The fast forward to, you understand, 2 years from now. Now, installment payments, yeah, that was the slide that was having issues. Installment payments are allowed as well, Mrs. Joy. So you could pay any of the two options, because we know you may not have all the funds at once. You can either choose to pay $1,997 US dollars, which is roughly 1.8 million, 3 times within on a monthly basis, or you can decide to pay $2,599, which is 2.4 million. You understand, twice on a monthly basis, because you know the exchange rate of Nigeria now is about 920. So as of today, though, so it can increase, it can reduce, but now for people that actually want to get in, that is what you can actually pay on an installment basis, either through that link or either through what, the transfer into our official GTB account in Nigeria. So instead of you paying 11,000, which was the addition of, and how did we get the 11,000? The addition of the first discounts first bonuses. We talked about the 3 bonuses I shared. You understand? Instead of you paying that, you just pay 4,997 US dollars, which is 4.5 million naira. But again, before I stop, I would like to show you some of the job offers that we were opportune to actually get, and that you as well can actually get if you land as a PR resident. You understand? Right from even your LinkedIn profile, because there are some clients we have now that we are helping them develop their LinkedIn profile. That is what they are doing right now. Do you understand? Because on LinkedIn, you can get employers and recruiters to search for you themselves and to offer you jobs themselves without you stressing on it. And this is a particular recruiter, Sean Qureshi, that actually shared a job with me that I should come and do a tech job because it's a 12-month contract. And if you know, 12-month contract is an high paying job for senior data engineer for digital ads. Is in Toronto, Ontario, because I'm in Ontario presently. It is a good pay. But because I'm in business and I have other things to do, you understand, I couldn't take up the offer. But again, just like people that reached out to me that, oh, please, can you help me? Do you have any link for any job, any kind of things? What I do for this kind of scenario is that I always refer people, you understand, get paid a certain commission. Do you understand? From the employer or recruiter, which I'm good to actually live on. And they get the what? The certain skills or the certain people that they want to actually do that job, which is high paying, definitely, to actually, you understand, join their team. So if that is something that you actually want, can you put a yes on the chat section or put your best emoji or even say, cool, you understand? Let me know that you really want that. Now, the real reason some don't take action is that they are scared. They have fear. That what if this thing doesn't work out? And it's time to actually get off the fence. And I want everyone, no matter how little you are here, I want you to actually get off the fence right now. Because you are here for a reason. Some people joined us and they left. Some will watch the replay, which will just even definitely be available for about 2 to 3 days. But let me help you achieve your dreams right now by getting this limited offer right away. I want to take away your fear. In fact, I want us to share part of the fear or risk. You can share the risk of, okay, what if plane crash? What if, even though God forbid that will not happen, you can share that one. But I want to take away the fear of what if PNP doesn't work for you. Do you understand? So, in addition of you paying 1,997 US dollars or 1.8 million naira twice, or 2,599 US dollars, which is 2.4 million naira twice monthly, or a one-time payment of 4,997 dollars, which is 4.5 million naira once. I want to give you a full 90-day money back guarantee, period. And let me make you understand it. It means that if, for instance, you pay today, this is August, you have September, you have October, you have November, to tell me that, brother, oh, this thing that I paid for before, it did not work for me. Give me back my money. And with no stories, no this thing will give you back your complete 100%. If it is 4,900, if it is 1, anything you paid will be sent back to you. Do you understand? Because I want to take off the fear out of you. I did this and I see people do this, and can I can't guarantee, let me tell you something. I can't guarantee that the IRCC, no immigration lawyer that I've met here, no licensed immigration consultant that I've met here, will, or no business development consulting firm that I've met here that helps with recruitment, will tell you that, oh, it is guaranteed that you will get a job, or it is guaranteed that your PNP would work. But what they guarantee is that all the mistakes that you could have made, they would not make it in your application. And that is a fair price. And that is why they stated with me again during our partnership, our terms of partnership, that they would make sure, they would try their best to make your visa come out. But if it doesn't come out, they'll give you back your money. I don't know, maybe you understand what we said. Let me come back again. If peradventure, now I got 2 PNP, you understand, invitations. Do you understand? But if you did not get 1, you did not get 2 or 3, your money will be given back to you. If you did not pass your TEF Canada, and that is why it is 90 days, because 90 days for the 3 major things. If you did not get, West is much more assured that okay, once you qualified, you went to a school that is recognized by the government, they will surely give you an evaluation. But the risks involved is IELTS, TEF Canada, and what? And PMP. So if we trained you, it's not that like someone said they have already done West, they have already done IELTS. So that one doesn't concern us again. But if we trained you for IELTS, we trained you for TEF Canada or TCF Canada, and orí ẹ̀ ò gbéwèé, that may not be our fault, but orí ẹ̀ gbéwèé, you went to write exam, you understand, and you did not pass. Do you understand? We'll give you back your money. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Thirdly, if PMP, and this will be on a contract, and that is why again our immigration lawyer stated that everyone will sign the contract, and in the contract you would read what we are agreeing to. So it's not that anything, that contract is something that you can take that, okay, this is what they said they will do, they did not do it to you, they did not kill you, help us collect our money from them. It is legit. Do you understand? So there will be no stories. You sign the Canada PMP package contract and the form. But mind you, again, I need to tell you that there are more fast action bonuses. It doesn't just end there. Even though we give you 90 days, it doesn't end there. If you buy the package in the next 20 minutes, mind you, if you buy the package, how many minutes do we have? This is 7:29 p.m. Wow, time has really gone. In Nigeria. In Canada here, this is 2:29 p.m. If you buy it within now and what is the time? Oh, okay. 20 minutes time is okay. This 7:30. Good. I even like that because I was already looking to it and I would like calculate 7:50 p.m. If you buy it between now and 7:50 p.m. or if you buy it within now Canadian time 2:30 p.m. to 2:50 p.m., you would get two other bonuses. You understand? The first one is that you would get to book a consultation. It's not even a consultation, a series of consultation with our immigration lawyer client. I'm a partner with our licensed immigration consult. You will speak with them like this. So literally, they didn't give me this for free. They didn't give, I have to be frank with you. They didn't give me this for free. They said every time our client will consult with me, like in terms of the immigration lawyers and the consultants, that we have to pay them. So from the money you pay, we will pay them for you to be able to consult with them freely and ask any question you have. And that is golden. It is not free. And that is why it is just within the next 20 minutes. If you do not get it now, don't come and meet me after, you understand, 7:50 that or 12:50 that I did not have the package of the free consultation to it. It doesn't cover it. Do you understand? For people that doesn't pay or that didn't pay within the next 20 minutes. Secondly, the free monthly Jackpot Masterclass. Actually, we have at A.O.S Abroad, we have our masterclass we do for people that paid. But I have also learned that some of our partners also have free masterclass. They don't really call it, it's we that call it masterclass, but they have a kind of get together they do with their own clients. Do you understand? That is also paid. And again, we will be paying for that freely, that you would get access to on a monthly basis to attend our own or to attend their own. Now, again, if it's not within the 20, because this is a big one, if you do not pay within now, because we are going to be paying them, if you don't pay within these periods that we talked about, it is not going to be added to your what? To your PMP Canada system. Now, so if you believe what we believe, if you believe in giving first and in thinking long term, if you believe in doing the work that others won't, if you believe in delaying your instant gratification, if you believe in better quality of life, career, and service for all, if you believe in helping people get access to greener pastures abroad, just like we believe, then help others get this offer too. Please like and share this. Refer people, and you would also get reward. Depending on your reward, you can go on our website though, A.O.S abroad / you understand, where we talked about our referral policy. You can get within 5 to 10%. of the monies they pay. Do you understand? If you go on aosabroad.com, you'll see, like on the down section where we talked about referral policy, you can actually get to pay. Some people are wise. Do you understand? Some people are wise. It's just the truth. There are some of our clients now that use this to get clients for us, three, four, five clients. And when a client is paying millions, they are getting hundreds or thousands, and they are using that money to pay for their own money. So all they just need to do is to share. All they just need to do is to repeat the system. You understand? Of sharing to more and more people, letting people know what we are doing, and they share to their colleagues, they share to their family members, their friends, their clients, because some people also have businesses like us, and so on. So you can get referral commissions when they make payments and state your name and your contact details. Please, is that fair enough? Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. And you said yes. Now, if not this, what then? If not this offer that we talked about, what do you now need to take decision? If not now, my sister, my brother, when? Why did you even get to join this webinar in the first place? Have you asked yourself, why are you still here? Because some people have left, and we can see these numbers. Why are you still here? What are you going to do about your why? The reason why you are still here? Because this is 2 hours and 30 minutes long. So you joined for a reason and you are still here for a reason. So is it that you joined for migration, or you joined for excuses? Because there are always two kinds of immigrants we see: those that are good at traveling abroad fast, and those that are good at staying at home diligently. So you can be one. Some people were good staying at home diligently, and that's when we were having packages that were cheaper than this, they didn't apply. Like one of our clients that, thank God, thankfully now she's now in Alberta, Canada. Since 2021, she saw our offer. She said, these people are scammed. They were even in Ilorin that time, because we were in Ilorin. They didn't take action. Our friend that she referred to us took action. So when she was now willing to take it, the same action that the friend took, learning French and, you understand, preparing for PNP and everything, the price has almost doubled. So please, you can't be both. You just can't be both. I fell into the trap before, and that is why the 6.7 million I said I spent, when my own family member that we worked with to actually come to Canada, when he was doing his own, he spent about 4 point something million. Do you understand? To actually do it, to come, like everything, it was not up to like 4.5. But because I say I'm doing business now, I'm helping people, don't let me do my own. The price was not smiling when I started my own with my common law partner. So I was part of the later, but I decided to become the former. And I just hope you two also decide to become the former. Now, this webinar offer ends in 3 days. In case you are asking, when does this end? In 3 days. And because we had to stop yesterday, which was, you understand, Saturday, and continue today, Sunday, we are not going to add that Saturday to it. So what it means is that Sunday is going to be added, Monday is going to be added, Tuesday is going to be added, and we would end it by Wednesday. By Wednesday, nobody should come and meet me and say, yes, they didn't get the offer. No, we're not going to listen to that again. It's gone. So with all the bonuses we said, we talked about the bonus you get from the travel expert, which was roughly $10,000 plus. Do you understand? The one you get for the monthly jackpot, which was $399 value worth, you would now get, if you calculate all those together with all what we have been talking about, that is 20,000 plus worth of free things you get once you apply, spending either 4,907 USD only today for 4.5 million naira, or you pay 1,997, 1.8 million naira only thrice, or 2,599, which is roughly 2.4 million naira twice. You understand, on a monthly basis to pay for it. And again, you get a full 90-day money back guarantee. 90 days. I'm not talking about 30 days. I'm not talking about 14 days. Not 60 days. 90 days, a whole 3 good months. If we start work with you, whether be it you are a youth, whether be it you are a Google, like 40, 50 years of age, whether be it you have a master's, whether be it you have a bachelor's, whether be it you have nothing, nada,
as I spoke about my common law partner recently, I think like yesterday, she was a secondary school graduate. She did not have any bachelors. She didn't have French knowledge. She didn't have, but she was able to go with the right assistance and support. So we are confident that if God works with you and we do what we are meant to do, we should get you that PMP with our combination of partnership with our licensed immigration consultant, our immigration lawyer in Calgary, Alberta, because we have one in Calgary, Alberta, we have another one in Manitoba, and I am in Ontario. We kind of split it ourselves. Now, for payment as well, lastly, you can actually pay through the bit.ly/AOS-abroad-PMP-package, which is going to link you to our website, or transfer it to our Nigerian official GTB account 0561848883. And once you have paid, send your payment screenshot to our email admin@aosacademy.com or on WhatsApp +234 if you are in Nigeria 810-771-44949, or call or text us via our Canadian number +1-289-689-9343 for your Canada PMP package contracts, you understand, and the form you fill to seal off. And we'll send you a receipt. Yes, that reminds me. We'll send you a receipt. Whether you pay through transfer or you pay through, you will get a receipt for your payment in order to show it when you understand, work with us. So please, if you also have any other person or you have any other question you want to ask, this is your time to ask within very few time now. The Canada PMP package is available. You save 80% now if you actually pay now. If you pay after this period of the 3 days, more, either through our partners or through us, this is not the amount. So you pay more than this, you. So let me tell you like that. So please, this is the Q&A session. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Any comments? Or even clarifications? All right. If not, I'll give you a final call to action. The offer ends in 3 days. Do you understand? You may receive this offer, maybe for instance, tomorrow. Just know that 3 days is where the offer lands. After 3 days, it's gone forever. Do you understand? So pay either 1,907 US dollars, which is 1.8 million naira thrice, or 2,599 US dollars, which is 2.4 million naira twice only, or you pay 4,997 only, which is 4.5 million naira at once, either on the link or via our account. And once we get your screenshots, we'll send you your receipts, your contract, and your form. So with that, thank you very much once again for joining us right now. Really appreciate you joining. For those who are here, for those who will still see the replay, for those who are on YouTube, and it's going to be taken down on YouTube because this offer will not stay the same. So it's going to be taken down after the 3-day period. So anyone you want to get access or to get value for this, send it to them right now. Let them have access to it right now. Let them contact us right now. If they pay peradventure, send us the details so that we can actually reimburse you your commission referral. Thank you very much, everyone, once again, and do have a wonderful and lovely day ahead. Au revoir. Bye for now.